No. I know. Good morning, everyone.
Welcome to Thursday's podcast! See how I
Oh.
do it and how you do it? You take too long.
Fuck off. You're a dick. That's what you are. All right, so today we are going to be talking about conflict resolution and the benefits of conflict negotiation in today's society.
That's a heavy topic. What also is a heavy topic is the shit I was doing at 4:30 in the morning because I don't ever sleep.
Let's hear a story time.
So, yeah, just to start off while we have people coming in, this morning at 4:30 o'clock a.m., as in just less than 6 hours ago, I was in an epic poet battle on Minecraft because that's a thing that happened in my life. Really good shit actually came out of it. Like, it was solid, like warrior poet kind of shit. Like, it was solid. Great time I had in the morning. Like, awesome. And Mafasa, if you are just so happen to be one of the very few listeners that actually listen to this, hell yeah, man. Like, that was cool as shit. We're gonna have to do that again. And if you're not on here, then I'll just message you on Minecraft and we can do that, later on when you get back on. And we'll just continue our shit because it was some good shit.
Nah.
And I can keep that shit up for a long time. Anyway, so last Tuesday, we're going to go, I think we should recap a little bit. Last Tuesday, we did have a few callers come on and join the call. We talked about some issues that they've had, a few possibilities to, or possible ways to fix what's going on. I want to look at them as possibilities, as ways that we could probably fix the nation, but we really want to talk about conflict resolution. And in order to do that, I would like to have multiple people from multiple backgrounds sit down and have a conversation. I'm going to say it now, even though there's nobody on, and I'll reiterate the rules later. But when we have people on, multiple people, there are some rules. Rule number 1, stay focused and on topic. Rule number 2, no pointed questions. Okay, and those are the kind of those are bullshit questions, guys. That's what a pointed question is. No bullshit questions. All right, if you legitimately have a question, ask it in a way that doesn't come off as a bullshit question. And you guys know what I mean. Those kind of questions where.
So why are you a white nationalist?
Right, that's very pointed. Don't ask them questions like that. Just ask them things like, I understand that you feel this way, but I don't understand why you feel this way. Can you please give me a reason or part of your background? Like, I need to know more about you to understand why you feel this way. Questions like that are going to be paramount, okay? Rule number 3, let each other talk. Be respectful, all right? Rule number 4, take your time. Take your time in explaining the reason why you feel that way. Take your time in explaining the reason why you have that sort of mindset. We want to know, okay? Like, we honest to God want to know. This is what do they call it in politics? Bipartisan?
Mm-hmm.
All right. This is going to be bipartisan and amicable. That's it. That's all there will be. Bipartisan, amicable. All right. Rule number 5, no judgment. Okay. I understand a lot of people are going to be judgy. I get it. But if you come on and you talk, all we ask is that you reserve your judgment until afterwards, and then you can rant and rave about whatever the fuck they say. Okay. But while you're on the show, please just try to be amicable. Let each other talk. Have concise statements. And kind of really figure out what you want to say, then say it. All right. Like, I'm going to try very hard to mediate this between people who normally would never speak to each other. All right. And that's what I want. I want people to actually sit down and talk and share honest to God feelings.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try and very, 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 very hard to stay partial. Or not partial. What was it? It's just too fucking early in the morning.
Unbiased.
Unbiased. Thank you. Or impartial. Goddamn shit brain.
Hey, it's
Fucking
my
gas
water
up and-
over there. It's still in the car. It's
I don't know
still
what you're talking about as far as water. You didn't bring any water in. Go get your water. But that's the goal for today. Whether it happens or not depends solely on you as listeners and whether or not you're going to call in. Okay? So I would like you guys to do that. And since there's still only one person listening, and he's the historian of the group. How are you doing, man? You doing good? How's the outside? I really hope it's good. I really hope that you get the job, man, because you need it. I know you already got one, but damn, you need this job. Just don't tell anyone you work at a clinic, because otherwise you get random fucking calls all day long. The longer nobody knows, the longer you're just better off.
We don't have our usuals on today.
We don't. Well, we also were, like 4 minutes early, 10 minutes early.
No, not typically.
We'll wait. We're good. So anyway, let's talk about some shit. And then once people get on, we'll go back to our normal shit. So tell me. A thing.
Tell you a thing.
Yes, tell me a thing.
I realized yesterday how fucking awesome I am. Like, I'm the best. Really.
How old are you?
34.
It took you 34 years to get to that point?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I hit that when I was like 1.
No, and I woke up this morning and I'm like, you know what? Fuck everybody.
Thank you. See, if you just listen, that's what I've been telling you to do forever. And not in the sexual sense, but in the sense of like, fuck everybody. Seriously.
Yeah, right.
Like, just
I've decided that in life I'm going to definitely take the no bullshit, no excuses.
Yeah.
And stop allowing people to dominate my time without taking into consideration of my own self needs.
Yeah, I know. Totally get it. Like, there are motherfuckers who have been there for me, and I try to be the motherfucker that's there. Okay.
I am a motherfucker's there, but
I know.
I have you and my husband that is there for me.
Right. That's because that's like intent. I'm very intent on showing the fuck up and doing what I need to do as just a good person.
But everybody else, no.
Actually, while we're on this topic, I'm just gonna throw out there. Really good friend of mine, her mother tried to kill herself earlier in the week, or last week. Sorry.
Usually we have several people on by now. It's weird.
Typically, yeah, it is weird, but we'll let it do its thing. But a really good friend of mine, her mother tried to kill herself earlier last week. And, me and my wife, we got the phone call at like 4:50 in the morning. Hey, this is what's going on. Actually, it wasn't calm like that. My friend was actually freaking out. She was screaming and yelling and crying, and I was like, all right, look, I need you to calm down and tell me what's going on, and we'll work from there. And she's like, well, my mom just tried to shoot herself. And I'm like, okay, all right. I need you to remain calm. Is it something that has happened before? And she said, yeah, a couple of times, but not this bad. I'm like, all right. Is she okay? Is everybody okay? Yes, everyone's okay. I'm like, all right. Have you called the hospital to get her checked in because she needs to be committed right now, put on suicide watch? And she's like, no, I haven't. I don't even know what to do. I'm like, all right. So I three-way to call. All right, guys, I need you to pay attention. I three-way call between my friend and the hospital. Okay, and I was there for support on the phone. I took the charge, like, fuck it, a three-way phone call for a couple of minutes. I'm not fucked up about that. All right. But I took the charge simply because that's what I'm going to do as a friend. All right. Be there for your friends, especially when they're going through shit like that. Be a ride or die bitch. And it's sad that you only got me and your husband that are fucking show up and do shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I find it so weird because you're like, oh, well, can you watch the kids? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And, that fucks with me on a level that I'm not familiar with because my family, like everybody pitches in.
No, okay, so as you know, I'm not close with my family at all. Like,
I know that's what fucks with me.
I mean, I have some family that I've legit never met who lives in NWA, but the majority of the family that I actually talk to lives in Massachusetts, and I only have like just a handful of family left in Texas. Really, I mean, I come from a really small family anyway. It's definitely a family of one childers, pretty much.
Yeah, see, I don't.
So we're all like only children. Well, we're really not. I'm an only child, and my mom kept me away from the majority of my family all of my life. So I never found close bond relationships to them, and I don't have one with my mom, and I don't have one with my grandma or my aunts or anything.
That's so, like, the longer I'm alive, the longer I've realized that my family unit is spectacular.
Oh, it is.
And hey, how are you doing? What's up? We're actually waiting for a few more listeners to jump. Actually, you know, if you want to join the call already, like, let's do this. We're just shooting the shit right now and waiting for some more people to get on to have a conversation with and actually get on to the topic or today's topic, which is conflict resolution and the benefits of conflict negotiations in today's society. That's today's topic, heavy topic, but
it's not really that heavy of a topic. It's just learning to basically listen and to empathize with the people that you are having conflict with.
It's not a heavy topic if you know what you're doing. All right, yeah, he's not really ready. That's cool. Yeah. That's cool. Just gotta make the offer. Anyway, no, what the hell? I don't know who you are. Shut the hell up. Sorry about that.
Today is definitely fuck all day.
It really is.
All right, so getting back on the topics, like, yeah, like, no, my family is not, definitely not close at all. We're all spread out all over the United States, and we don't even come together for holidays.
That's all right, Malcolm. You just do you, boo. Like, you just do you. I'm not gonna hold it against you at all. Like, if you're in pain, I totally get it. And you just do your thing. Anyway, continue about your family.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so
you're welcome, boo.
Jesus fuck, man.
What was the rule that we tried to set up? No sexual tension?
Yeah.
God, he's hot. I kiss him on the lips.
I swear to God. I swear to fucking God. Malcolm, I sincerely apologize.
I had a conversation with my damn straight on the onion ring. So
I hope to God it's not an onion ring. I hope to, because I lick stuff pretty frequently, and I swear to God, if it smelled or tasted like an onion ring, I would be worried. I'd be like, motherfucker, go to the doctor. You're not digesting well.
I had this conversation with we've mentioned it before on this show, my confidant, like literally my best friend from high school. And we were talking about, you know, being gay, and he's like, well, because he was telling me a story about how one of the guys who's dating his wife's best friend said that he knew what semen tasted like because he tried his own semen when he was younger. And my buddy's like, what? Dude, no. And he's like, that's kind of gay. And I'm like, yeah, but you also kissed a man. And he just shut up. And he's like, yeah, but you're the one that kissed me. And I'm like, yeah, you told me to do it because you didn't think I would. And he goes, yeah, but what does that say about you? Because you kissed two men. I was like, yeah, but you know what? I was sober and I wasn't drunk. So I'm not trying to fuck him. I'm just trying to weird him out. And he goes, yeah, but does that make you bisexual? I was like, yeah, it makes me about 8% bisexual. But 10%, that's when you start trying to fuck another dude. So 8%'s okay. Double digits is the danger zone.
I don't think there is a danger zone in sexuality. I mean, really, if you think about it, there's no danger zone. But I don't believe in gay or straight. Like, I really don't. I do not, and I'm probably going to get shit for this, but I sincerely do not believe in gay or straight. It's definitely a sliding scale of how gay you are in that moment.
Oh, absolutely. I found that, okay, I've been to gay bars. I've been drunk at gay bars. I've never tried to mac up on a gay guy. Okay? Like, I don't want to lead somebody on, but if it's a straight dude trying to tell me that he's straighter than me and he's going to try, and he's doing like the gay shit, I'm like, all right, motherfucker, I'll prove to you that you're a little gay. And I will take it to that next level. I'll kiss him. Shit, I'm the kind of guy that find himself in a 4-year committed relationship just to prove to the motherfucker I'm not gay.
You gonna adopt a kid there? Raise it right. Spend the next 18 years teaching them how to parent. That's kind of what you did with Ocean there.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. Like, you know, that kid calls me all the time asking for advice, and it's like me and his dad are very different. Okay, let me explain this because this is coming off really, really, really weird. So Ocean's dad is one of my best friends, one of my best military friends. I really care about the guy because he was the guy who took me under his wing and you know, showed me how to dress, how to talk, how to act around women to achieve my goal, and how to really stand up and do what I said I was going to do. And I have a lot of respect for the man. And in the process, we became very good friends of him just teaching me the ropes of just being out in the world outside of high school. And not in a sexual way, but very much so in like the role of a mentor, really. So we became really good friends. His ex-wife, craziest fucking woman I've ever met. Let me tell you, I've met some doozies. All right, like the first time she met me, she literally showed up to the apartment that me and John were living in, and she gave me this baby. All right, and then said, "All right, here he is," and just walked away. She never met me a day in her life.
Malcolm, hold on. Meet me around back. 5 minutes.
Fuck off. Those are my nuts, bitch. Anyway. So, but she literally handed me her kid, said, "All right, here he is," and just walked away. First time she ever met me. She didn't know me. She didn't know shit about me. I could have been robbing the fucking place. And she handed me her kid and just got in her car and fucking left. And his dad wasn't home. So I had to call him. I'm like, "Dude, I just want to let you know, like, your kid's here." She dropped him off. And he's like, "What do you mean he's there?" Like, she just came by and dropped him off. You know, because I was freaked out. I've never thought a mother would actually fucking do that kind of shit. But she did. She just fucking left him with me and went about her business. So I called up my buddy and I told him, and he was pissed. Oh, he was pissed. Like, that's the one thing. I respect that man as a father. Like, I didn't even know. There's people in his life that he's known for 9 years don't even know he's got a fucking kid because he doesn't tell anybody. And the reason he doesn't tell anybody is because people are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't put his kid in that kind of place, you know? So, like, I respect that. I respect the length that he's willing to go to protect his son. And it got to, let me finish the story. She dropped off her kid, called my buddy. He was on a date with a girl. He literally came back in like 15 minutes. Dropped her off, came straight back. And I mean, I told him, I was like, "Look, you know, I can totally watch your kid. Like, nothing's going to happen. I've watched kids before. It's no big deal." And he's like, no, it's my son. It's my time. And he was fucking there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and here recently when he had his really bad PTSD attack and we lost him for a couple of months, I took care of Ocean, and he lived the majority of the time here with me, and we did our thing, you know, play video games and whatnot. And I taught it. I can't even remember what he fucking asked me about. He wanted to learn something, so we sat down and I fucking taught him what he wanted to learn. And the entire time his dad's having a bad PTSD attack, but I figured out where he was at and I just left him the fuck alone so that he didn't feel like he was being bothered by anybody, because that's the biggest thing. Know where they're at, know that they're safe, move on. Yeah. That's it. Let it pass And when it does pass, then you can talk to them and be like, all right, look, I know you were fucked up. It's okay. You need help? Let me know. I'll be there for you. Always been there for him. That's the biggest thing when you're dealing with just people in general. It doesn't even have to be ex-military, right? But if you're dealing with people in general, like if someone's got them fucked up and you can't do anything about it, help them relieve the stress. All right, pull something off their plate. That's why I have basically. Okay, this is what happens with a PTSD attack, guys. Like I'm going to explain it the best way I possibly can. Everybody has a plate, and you can only carry so much shit on your plate. A PTSD attack is basically looking at that fucking plate and flipping that shit upside down, dropping everything off that plate and walking off because you can't handle any of the shit that's on your plate and you can't put anything else on your plate. So you remove everything, even basic shit that needs to be on your plate. You just remove it all and go about your way. Okay, it helps relieve that stress and anxiety and all that bullshit that's building up, and you just fucking flip it over and walk away. And I get that.
PTSD attacks, that's where I'm going to correct you on something, come in a wide variety of symptoms. Yes. And it's not always just flipping your plate over and all that. The majority of the time, it is severe, crippling anxiety to the point of being unable to function in life.
And that's the plate flipping.
And there comes a lot, for some of the extreme cases, it's not plate flipping, it's still continuing to live a normal adult life, but having such severe that your personal life is suffering. You may get up and go to work and carry on your adult life, but everything else goes by the wayside. And then there are extreme attacks where it brings in major mania and rage and hallucinations and psychosis.
The reason
there's
why he
such a huge variety of symptoms with PTSD, especially from military.
I'm not saying that plate flipping is the only thing that happens. Yeah. I'm just saying the broad spectrum, typically what happens. But you're right. I mean, there are my friend had a very serious PTSD attack, and he was very violent. And he recognized this, and he just fucking left because he didn't want to hurt anybody. He was at that point where he knew he was going to hurt somebody. Yeah. So he left. I know that. I know this about him. I've known this man for the majority of my life. I know where he's at mentally. A couple of months before it even happened, I sat him down. I said, look, I know you're fucked up. I can see that you're fucked up. I know you would never talk to a therapist, but if you need to talk, I'm not going to tell anybody. You can talk to me about anything. And he said he appreciated it. No, he wouldn't see a therapist. There's no way in hell he would see a therapist. He didn't want anybody rooting around in his brain any more than he already rooted around in his brain. Let's see. Malcolm says, for me, and the analogy's sake, it's like a spider web that's connected to all my memories and thoughts and everything, and then slowly a pair of scissors comes and starts cutting those strands of web, disconnecting me from myself until they're all cut. Absolutely. Your presence of mind fades, and you're unable to stop yourself from reverting back to training, which is typical. You revert back to your training. Your training was, it's there to, in a time of war, keep you alive and keep them dead. So you revert back to that when you're having a major PTSD attack. And reverting back to that training is very dangerous for the people living with you because sometimes you can't tell the difference. One second, I'll take this.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got a text message from work that is very confusing.
Yes, being woke up abruptly.
Yeah, it's definitely triggering that fight or flight. They don't always wake up violently. Violence has a lot to do with how I wake up violently. Sometimes, you startle me wrong and I wake up swinging, and I don't have PTSD.
The issues. Oh, awesome. Thank you, nonsense.
And it's important, especially with people who are suffering from, PTSD or other anxieties, to recognize that conflict and to be able to help them recognize the said conflict and come to terms of, negotiations for themselves, for you, for the situation. Negotiations are probably it's going to be really hard, especially as somebody suffering from mania or psychosis. But it can be done. There are a few effective strategies to do it. Ashley, I'm going to let Corey talk for a minute. I've got to take a quick phone call because my work is calling me.
Yeah, you do that.
So I will be back 5 minutes.
You know, I was never afraid to wake up my friend. I mean, like, I knew that he would swing on me and attack me if I did wake him up, but I was never afraid to wake him up. Because there's always a way. There's always a way to wake them up or wake you up that will, be peaceful. Anything that's abrupt, anything that's right off the bat, like those fucking alarms that you set on your phone to wake up, those are the worst things possible for you, especially if you have PTSD, because you wake up and it's there. But if you allow yourself to just calmly wake up through the course of 15, 20 minutes or so and come to reality, it's much more gentler and it's a lot less of there's not as much stress on you mentally to wake up and go about your day. And it really boils down to just finding that one simple way, like gentle music, something to just kind of pull you out of your dream or fugue state, whatever it's called, and bring you back just a little bit. Let's see, what's the nonsense pastor says, nutrition, sleep, and fitness are huge factors. They are huge factors. I have not met a lot of ex-military that didn't work out in some form or fashion. And those are, they're pretty nutritious guys. They try to get to sleep, but with the military training and stuff, like my friend, he probably slept a total of 3 or 4 hours a day for the majority of his life. And unfortunately, living with him has put me in the same state. I only get about 4 hours of sleep a night, roughly. Like, I went to sleep at 5 o'clock. And I was up at 9:30, and I'm functioning mentally. And yeah, it does. It really does. Like the lack of sleep. But see, they train you to think. Yeah, see, and that's another thing. Like the military will tell you that you're going to get a certain amount of sleep. They don't tell you that it's going to be consecutive. All right, because it's not consecutive. If you're going to get 5 hours of sleep a night, then they're going to wake you up just about every other hour and make sure that you go back to sleep an hour after that so that your body is used to reacting as soon as you wake up. And they're making sure that they're going to train you to function on lack of sleep. They will deprive you absolutely of sleep. They will take that shit away from you as fast as you can possibly fucking say no. And they will continue to do it. They don't give a shit. That's their job. Their job is to break you down and build you back up the way that they think is best. It is very important for proper brain function. Nonsense Password says sleep is so important for proper brain function. I highly recommend courses. Coursera courses, learning how to learn. That's actually not a bad idea. I never thought about that, but having a lot of friends who are ex-military, that's the biggest thing that I've seen is that a lot of them come back, they can't sleep. And if there was a way to rewire the brain a little bit, help them sleep, that would be great. Unfortunately, we don't know enough about sleep and what's going on to really train people on how to sleep better. And
you can't train people on how to sleep better.
Yeah, but you can train them how to sleep less. Yes. Now, see, that's the thing. Malcolm, I don't know where you live. I grew up in Denver, Colorado. Well, I say Denver, Colorado. I actually grew up outside of Denver, Colorado. It's now Denver, Colorado because Denver has expanded so much. Oh, okay. All right. if you, oh yeah, that's right. Oh my god, I'm fucking retarded. Sorry, see, like this is the thing. Like I know you, and my brain just totally switched off, and I had a brain fart, and it swelled up to the massive size of a damn grapefruit and put pressure on everything. So now I'm over here like, what the fuck's going on? Anyway, yeah, and having that cold temperatures definitely helps. Now, nonsense password. I wanna go ahead and mention this. He said, nonsense password says that he helps a lot of homeless people, and a lot are ex-military. Absolutely. Okay, a lot of people are ex-military. A lot of those ex-military come out of the military. They don't know what to do. You know, they were in charge of multi-million-dollar machines, and when they come over to the United States, they're in charge of fuck all, and they don't exactly conform to society again because they're so far. They're so far apart at that point. They don't feel like they have the same support system, and they're fucked up. And then we're just like, oh, it's okay for you to be homeless, and we just leave it. That's okay, guys. I have such an issue with that. I have such an issue with that. Like the military, these are people who found that their civic duty weighed, and you're right, you don't have the support. Their civic duty weighed on them so much that they decided to actually spend part of their life in the military fighting for those rights that we have. And while they were all fighting, these guys got fucked up. Okay, like there's no two ways about it. They got fucked up. And if their body didn't get fucked up, their mind got fucked up. And if their mind and body didn't get fucked up, then come back to the United States and they realize there is no support, like Malcolm said, because you don't have the support that you deserve. And more often than not, you actually have to rely more on not the government that trained you and said that they were going to take care of you when you came back, but you have to rely on donations and shit from people that were never in the military because they appreciate the sacrifice that you made. And that's who's actually helping you out the most. Nonsense password says, and then they end up homeless and they end up in a cortisone cycle and then it gets weird. Yeah, it does. It does get weird. You know, Malcolm says it's frustrating and it makes you not want to help.
Yeah.
Or not want to help. Absolutely,
That's
it makes
why,
you not want to help.
That's why it's so important to, first and foremost, when dealing with conflict resolution, especially with patients who have PTSD, is finding a safety groundwork foundation that they can build on where they feel ultimately safe. They have to be able to deal with their traumas in a safe space, and that is a safe mindset that you're trying. It's a mindset that you're trying to set up, and that's where a lot of the therapists and stuff like that, when working with PTSD, a lot of the groups and everything that form around it is working on, setting everything up in a just building that safe foundation for them. Such as meeting in, a lot of groups, if you notice, it's at a third part building. It's not at a therapy office or anything like that. It's somewhere that is meeting in the middle where they can establish a safe space.
I know this is, I don't know if this is a valid thought or not. I don't want anybody to take offense, but because I'm not trying to compare you guys to dogs. Okay. And you'll get what I'm going to say here in a second. If you guys have ever volunteered for the Humane Society or anything, a lot of the Humane Society and so you know how the USPCA and all that, they have volunteer homes where dogs go if they've been beaten or abused and shit, and they help get them, back to a point to where they can enjoy life without having that oppression over them.
Hold on, I kind of want to cut you off. Okay, so EDMR therapy is groundbreaking. It's absolutely amazing for PTSD. It's nothing that is really new or anything like that, but it helps tremendously with PTSD, and it's phenomenal.
Right.
No,
I really do hope you're. No, I mean, like, I'm just saying, I've never heard about it. I really hope you're right.
No. There are so many scholarly articles on it. Like, seriously, EDMR therapy for PTSD people, or not even PTSD people, but people who have gone through severe traumas and stuff like that. It's absolutely amazing, and it does wonders. I've seen it do amazing with military and people who are coming in from active military coming back
I don't
into
know what it
civilian
is. I'm
life.
just gonna let you talk on the subject. I have no idea. Like,
Okay. Why is it not for you?
and put him in a fit. Anyway, back to my statement. A lot of, just about every shelter for animals has some sort of like what's foster families. Okay, my thought process is if you're out of the military, if you're reintegrating into society, uh, spending time and living with people like that who, just the family unit. If you don't have one, or if you do have one, spend some time with them. Don't live on your own for right off the bat. But actually, it's the same as when you get out of boot camp. And
Here, I'm going to post up this article for you to be able to read it to see what EDMR is.
But being able to live.
No, it's not. Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Go ahead.
It's not about reliving to accept. It's really not. It's basically it's prolonged exposure versus eye movement desensitization and reprocessing.
Oh wait! Is that the eye movement while sleeping shit?
No, not while sleeping, but it's like it's rapid eye movement, yes, but it's refocusing and retraining your brain and reprocessing.
Is that use like the red light on the eyes while you're sleeping?
Not just while you're sleeping. No, it's while you're awake.
The same the same process can get you to what's it called?
Here, I'm gonna send you over this article so you can.
Oh shit! When you can like make decisions and shit in the dream world. Anyway, back to what I was saying. When you get out of the military, typically you just go back and do your thing. Go back home and you live your life, whatever. Do what you're gonna do. Rob a bank, burn one down, whatever. But when you get out of the military, if you did spend some time with just like a foster family almost, and just living with them, getting out of the whole military, and just like not having any kind of set schedule for anything. And a lot of military guys, and I notice about all military, actually, I'm going to say that. You guys keep the schedule constantly. And citizen life is not scheduled. At most, we have to go to work at a set time, but we don't give a shit when we wake up.
Yeah. And that's because a lot of people, humans, they like routine, they like schedule. To be able to, process and cope better with things that do change, they need that schedule, something that they can depend on so they can deal with anxiety better.
Right. But it's the same as like, what's it called? What's that healing process where you flash yourself with, what is it? Strange New World says one problem is also going from constantly being around people than going to civilian world that is more isolated and alone. Absolutely. That is another problem.
And that's why you have to build up your security network. I was speaking earlier before you had entered.
You talk.
Building up a safe space foundation for a lot of the people who have PTSD, and that means
stress that constantly.
Yes, the safe space foundation is basically having a routine, but setting up group or setting up some kind of thing where you can go and you can sit and you can discuss where you feel safe, and that is with group, or that is most of the time, especially for PTSD military, it does revolve around group, but it could be at a therapist office or somewhere where you can set up that safe space foundation.
This might sound crazy, but
and I realize that some don't want to do group stuff, but I'm really going to stress on this group for military. In my personal and professional opinion, is crucial. And the reason for that is because people with PTSD, they need that foundation. They have a hard time with being alone with themselves or with their thoughts. So to what we like to call is called diversion and distraction, or distraction and diversion. It's basically when those hard mental thoughts come up and you're dealing and you're in your own head and everything is going on and you feel like you're going to break. When you divert your attention away from those thoughts and you distract yourself, and that could be with a group or with a group of friends or with your family, either, or with somebody that you trust, that you know is going to create that safe space for you. That's why it's so important for those safe space foundations to be able to have somebody to turn to. Malcolm says, I don't want groups or pills. That's understandable, but I'm going to re-stress this a lot. It may help you come out of your shell, so don't close yourself off completely to different forms of treatment. And EDMR is something that is done by yourself. It's not something that's done with a group. But if your therapist is recommending doing EDMR, then please take them on it, because it is an amazing treatment.
Well, that's the same thing as conflict resolution. Okay. Just because it's something you don't want to do doesn't mean it's something that you don't need to do. You know, if that actually will help out and you're refusing the treatment, and I'm just saying, because there are some times where the treatment is beneficial, but you don't want to do it because you've got such a bad taste in your mouth from the previous treatments. Okay. And I get that talking about it isn't pleasant. I get that doing group stuff puts you in a situation where you feel like you have to,
and you feel vulnerable,
to commit to it, and you feel vulnerable. That's why, and this honestly, like, guys, if you coming out of the military, you know, talk to your military buddy. You all got one. You got like 7 or 8 guys from the military. If you want to call in, go right ahead. I don't know how this happened today, but you know, we'll talk about this. This is great.
Well, no, this is all has to do. It all plays in with.
It does. Okay. All right.
Welcome to the show, and welcome to phone call.
Yes.
What's up?
Nothing much.
What we're doing now is what's up. How are you doing? Let's talk a little bit.
I'm good. I'm just in pain. I had to reach like 2 feet from my AirPods, but
why are you in pain today? What's going on?
It's my back. I injured my back when I was in the military, and it's just acting up.
Paratrooper?
No, security forces.
Okay. Oh yeah, I mean my buddy was a paratrooper, and he actually got out of the military. He was like 3.5 inches shorter than he was when he got in.
No. Wow. Dear Malcolm here was the old popo of the Air Force.
Hey, you know, I mean that's gotta do what you gotta do.
To each their own.
Yeah.
Like I've like I was saying, you know, you've got like 7 or 8 really close military buddies that you had while you were serving. And you guys all live across the United States because you didn't necessarily come from the same damn town. Something my great-grandfather did was his military buddy, him and his friend, they were really close. And my grandfather moved and bought a house right down the road from his friend after the military, and that did seem to help him. Now, I mean, that guy was in, he was in Pearl Harbor when the boats got attacked. I can't remember which boat he was on right off the top of my head. I've got all the stuff written down about it, but he was actually in Pearl Harbor. The guy saw a lot of action, and him and his buddy ended up getting out of the military, and they both lived, thankfully. I know they did lose a lot of their friends, but they did move to the same town just right down the street from one another. And I feel like that's actually more of an option than, you know, leaving that entire support group. Because, you know, when you do get out of the military, you just go back to your house. You don't necessarily pick up and move. But if you did move and you actually did live with your friends from the military and settled down next to them, then you would have that support group, that same support group that you've been leaning on the entire time you were through the military. You have that at home.
You would think that.
That was a loud ass vape. And what we're discussing today is conflict resolution, and we're mainly looking into PTSD with trauma and past military.
What are you eating though? It sounds delicious.
I am eating a chocolate truffle.
Never mind. I don't like sweets. Never mind.
The Secret Lounge.
How's it going, guys?
How are you doing?
What's up?
Doing all right. It's a very important topic y'all talking about, and all this goes into mental health in general.
That's actually, most of the time, that's the focus of our podcast is mental health, because that's where me and Floyd both have our jobs. We're both in the mental health field, so we do really care about the mental health aspect of just being alive.
That's what I like to talk about on my podcast. I like to end every show with open discussion, and then I do like a little section of time where I talk about mental health. I tell people, there's no shame in admitting that you have a problem and seeking help. The only time you should ever be ashamed if you cannot admit you have a problem and go get help, because the more you sit there and harness that negative energy in you, the more negativity you put on yourself and to others as well. It's not just you, it's you doing it to others. Whether you're doing it directly or indirectly, you're still involving others into your life with your emotions that you bottle up.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
I do have a quick question. Is the podcast echoing right now?
No.
Okay, good. That's all I need to know, because I've got your voice on loudspeaker and the mic's right above it, so I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't cause an echo.
Hey, I'm just making
sure. Yeah, you're good. No, I was just gonna say, it's I hate. I don't know where y'all are from, but in America, I hate how they sweep mental health under the rug. They know it's there, but they don't really want to say, hey, it really is a serious issue. Because look at our homeless population in America. Good percentile, more than half of the people that are on the streets are because they have a mental issue that they can't get help with, because our government refuses to give them or provide some kind of institution, some kind of place, something to help them with their problem. They just push them aside and say, "Oh, well, that's their problem. That's not our problem." Like, well, no, not really.
Yeah, they fuck you up and then they leave you, on the side of the street.
Seriously. And what pisses me off the most is that it's our veterans, our soldiers that come back from war and come back from serving, and they give them the big old "fuck you" middle finger and tell them, "Thank you for wasting."
Awful with mental health. They don't.
I know. I've been working with the VA, trying to get what do you call that? The service connection for my dad, because my dad's a veteran, and it's fucking god awful. I mean, it's taking us so many years just to get him some connection. He hasn't got fully connected, and I doubt he'll get fully connected before he dies. Unfortunately, he has stage 4 cancer, so I'm his provider. I'm taking care of him. He's on hospice care right now, end of life hospice care. But I mean, yeah, the VA has helped. The VA has helped us out with quite a few things, but there's a good hunk of stuff they're not helping us with, because my dad supposedly is not fully service connected. And then I reached out to the other veterans that are in my neighborhood. They all told me the similar stories. They had a hard time, and my neighbor that actually lives like 3 houses down from me, or 3 or 5 houses down from me, he told me, he's like, yeah, it took me 5 years to finally get service connected. I gave him paperwork that proved that he got blown up a couple of times, and he's got shot numerous times. So he has his PTSD, he has his physical injuries and stuff, and they denied him his service connection and his benefits for 4 years. It took him 5 years to finally get it. I'm like, well, how much more paperwork or proof do they need? He had letters written from his commanding officer. He had letters written from his fellow brothers and sisters that were in his platoon. I'm like, what the fuck do these people
All right.
want?
I'm sorry. I'm
Well,
gonna
see, that's what I explained to. That's what I tried to explain to my mom the other day, man. And I come from a military family, and I'm a veteran myself. And I was just like, you tell us that we deserve this. Everybody
But you don't give
in the
it.
United States tell us that we deserve it. But then whenever we actually reach out and ask for help, they say, well, why? Can you explain it to me? Why? And then they go ahead and deny you your benefits. I've been trying to get service connected since 2011, man.
You know, I think
I feel for you, brother. I really do.
I
And
think
so
at the
it's super
minimum-
frustrating. Sorry.
Now, what's frustrating more is that they have to put you through tests to test you to see how much percentile of disability you have. I'm like, really? And that shit takes God knows how long to get to do the test and then get the results. So I was like, really?
Right. Like I suffer from PTSD, a TBI, chronic back pain, a whole bunch of other stuff. But it's just like when I talk to the DAV or the people that try to help me submit my paperwork, they're like, let's just focus on one for right now. It's like, no, dude, I'm not having problems with just one. I'm having problems with my whole damn body, bro.
Exactly. And they want to do one at a time. And by the time they finish evaluating you, and they're like, okay, well, let's go through the list again, and we'll judge you on your percentile, and then half the time they deny the veterans. I'm like, really?
Guys,
and it takes years.
And I'll interject real quick.
Go ahead.
Now, I know you wanted to say something. Because I do have something to say.
Go ahead.
Okay, all right. First of all, the VA is a fucking joke. All right, let me just start there. It's a fucking joke. And Strange New World says the VA even internally wants everyone to know that there's a difference between VA benefits and VA health, so you don't judge them all. Yes, you're absolutely right, but they're still fucked.
True.
It doesn't matter what side. Okay. Now the government's running the VA. I can also tell you that if the government can't run a hat house and sell sex and make a profit, then they shouldn't be running a doctor's office either.
No, I think what needs to happen is, honestly, the VA has its place, but they're also extremely overloaded at the same time. I think if they have an option of insurance for the veterans to allow them to get their own PCP outside of the VA network, I think ultimately that would be better.
Absolutely. I'm sorry. All right, I'm going to go ahead and Ann Laurel, I'm going to go ahead and add you to the call. This is the whole point of today's podcast. Hello, Ann Laurel. How are you doing today?
All fine.
Are you connected today? All right, we're going to go ahead and disconnect you.
See if
All right, guys.
Sorry about that. We couldn't hear you on our end. If you get a chance, try and call back in. We'll try again. This is what Floyd was saying. Getting an insurance card, just saying, this guy provided service in the military, whatever, here's his insurance. And then literally for life, that's it. That's all you need is a little card that says for life, and you take it in there and you slap it down. They run the insurance, you take it back. Done.
No. How are you today, LW SAP?
Today we're not discussing religion. We're actually discussing conflict resolution and the benefits of conflict negotiations in today's society. And that has devolved into talking about the VA and really just ranting about them. Because
no, not necessarily though, because not to cut you off,
part of it.
but I don't. Yeah, I feel like if I was able to get that help, I'd be able to talk to civilians a lot better. I have a small gauge when it comes to what I call stupidity. So it's just if you call my store and you say, "Hey, are you guys open?" I'm not going to answer the phone unless I'm open, bro.
You deal with a lot of bullshit. I get it.
But it's just I'd be able to handle it a little bit easier. You know what I'm saying? Conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is like everyday life, man.
The difference, the biggest issue that I've seen is that, and we've said it before. We actually been talking about the whole day, but there is no support network, and the support network that's in place and supposed to take care of you is non-existent. They say that it's there, but when you go and ask for help, they're like, "Oh, denied." And that's where I'm like, you need to be a ride or die bitch. Okay, from the beginning, this is what I've been talking about today. You need to be a ride or die bitch. I got a phone call at 4:50 in the fucking morning. I went to sleep 20 minutes before that. Got the phone call, picked it up. My friend was screaming and crying because her mom tried to shoot herself in the head. And you know what I did? I said, "Is everybody okay? Have you tried to call the hospital yet?" Like, that's it. Like, immediately go into that resolution. I know the conflict. Now it's resolution time. Stay calm. I 3-way a phone call. Got everything taken care of. And then me and my wife got up, got dressed, and went to them. And I helped talk her mother into getting into the car so we didn't have to involve the police or the hospital anymore. Okay? We literally went to them. We helped them out. That's what it takes, guys.
All right, hold on. I don't want to. Malcolm, you said it's dealing with everyday life and how you can handle the general public. So what steps are you personally taking to help yourself cope better with dealing with the general public?
I take my stress. I take my anger out on the weights. I take my anger out on video games. I take my anger out on writing songs. I'm constantly looking for things for me to express, I guess, how angry I am. And I channel it.
Outside of anger, just dealing with, it's not even so much conflict, just like dealing with and coping with everyday life. What steps are you taking to help you better prepare so it can kind of keep your anger to a minimum?
There is no way.
It's that stuff.
Like, okay.
Okay.
I focus on myself.
Like, you understand your emotions better than most people. For especially ex-military, like, they feel happy or they feel angry, and if they're not happy, they're angry. All right. So, like, I can understand why.
Hey, can y'all still hear me?
We certainly can. Yes. I can understand how he just immediately goes to angry, especially when he gets bullshit phone calls like, "Hey, are you guys open?" "No, I'm just here and robbing the fucking store at 11 o'clock in the morning."
Right.
I've done that before. I've totally done that before at work. I had somebody call in, and they're like, "Hey, is the store open?" I go, "No, this is a guy who's robbing the place. I've tied up all the employees, have them at gunpoint. How can I help you?" And they're like, "What? I'm messing with you. How can I help you?" They're like, "Oh, you got me, man. I thought you were being for real." I was like, "Why would I tell you I'm robbing the place or I'm robbing the place?" I'm like, come on,
bro. Like,
I would. Like,
common sense is not so common.
No, it's not.
And
yeah, no shit.
That's just the thing for me, man. Like,
so,
and that's what the military taught me. It, like, they tell you things in the Air Force when they're training you. Like, here's a book, step by step.
That burp
It's
sounded
It's, huh?
Stop it! No sexual tension. God.
No, but they're like, here's a book, step by step. It's Army proof. You cannot get it wrong.
Fuck.
Like, they tell you, like, they told me things like that. Like, you literally can't mess it up. It's common sense, man. Step by step. Just read the next sentence.
So
this is how you're gonna
cue the music. Womp womp womp.
What happened during boot camp? Like, who did you point at and go that guy's an idiot? Like, that kind of shit.
It wasn't the guy. It was the person who stood out the most that you kind of, like, in your head just point out, like, dude, now we're all gonna get fucked up. Like, why couldn't you just do everything with us? Like, why'd you have to stand out? Like, some people get their feelings hurt because somebody, one of the TIs would say something reckless to them. But that's the thing, though. It's like, you're supposed to be hard, refined, like, there was a time when we were doing PT and this was still, and I'm not trying to, like, press anybody's buttons, but we were doing PT. This was the time when Don't Ask, Don't Tell was not not repealed yet. And this fella had gotten into his feelings because one of the TIs called him a not so favorable name, and he got in the TI's face, and dude got wrecked. But while the dude was getting wrecked, we're still in push-up position. Like, bro, we gotta get this set done, homie. Like, sit down, shut up.
Don't you hate those bastards?
Yeah, like, sit down, shut up. Let's get done with this. And then after they got done burning him, because TIs are like, you get jumped when you mess with a TI. Like, all the TIs come out of cracks and bushes and stuff. Like, oh, you're not gonna talk to him or her like that. All right, cool. And so they jumped his shit. And they made the dude who get up in front of the whole flight point at us, mock like he was laughing, like, ha, 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 ha. I got my feelings hurt. I got my feelings hurt. And he's got to stand there and watch us do the rest of our PT while he's laughing at us. And I hated that dude in that moment. Like, you motherfucker. But
I was just about to say the same thing. I was like, I bet y'all, because my dad was in the Army, and when he was stationed in Kentucky, there's some dude who would not cooperate at all with the drill sergeant. This dude was just talking shit left and right, and because he was talking shit to the drill sergeant left and right, the drill sergeant made everybody run laps with all their gear on, and not only did they run those laps, they had to go up and down the obstacle course hills and go through the what do you call those, like monkey bars and all that weird crazy shit they make y'all do. So yeah, he made him do that. I don't know how many times he said it was. He made him do it until he told him to stop, and he goes, man, I swear to you, when we got done with it, when he finally told us to stop, and we all went to go hit the showers, everybody jumped that fool in the shower and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
he's like, I did it. He goes, like, yeah, he did. That's what I said. They gave him a sock party, and my dad said, I didn't partake in it because I know I felt sorry for the guy, and I knew the guy had. The sad thing was the guy he joined the Army. But he had like mental issues and stuff, and apparently they weren't aware of his issues, so that's why this dude was acting out and doing all these weird, crazy shit. But then my dad after a while told him, you know what? You guys need to stop beating on this poor dude. I think he's had enough. He's to the point where he's almost unconscious, and y'all need to chill the fuck out. And they're like, oh, okay. And so they didn't even realize he beat him that bad. I was like, come on, guys, really?
I've got two stories. Both of them were told by my buddy to me, the one who had a severe PTSD attack. But the first week of basic training, my buddy was lined up, and I guess the guy was late to the line or some shit like that. And when he came out, he had actually cut his pants, his PT pants, and his shirt. So it was a short sleeve shirt and shorts. And he showed up to PT like that. And I guess that guy got a dressing or dressed down like you would not believe. Because what was it, destruction of government property or some shit like that?
They try to say that, but whatever. They're just barking. Right.
Now, the funniest story I've got from him that I think is okay to tell. Later on in his military career, a sergeant had told him that he needed to do the cadence. And the cadence is like, the song that you sing while you're running or whatever, right?
So Jody, yeah.
Yeah, my buddy told the sergeant, he's like, you don't want me to do the cadence. He's like, you're going to do the cadence or you're going to get demoted or some shit. So my friend said, okay. And so he did the cadence. And while they were running, he's like, Sergeant, so-and-so's a big douchebag. And
Sergeant, so-and-so's a big douchebag. Everybody sounds off.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so he did the cadence.
That would be hilarious. Everybody sounds off.
Different cadences to it. And, oh, man. So he got demoted. Again.
Oh, shit.
My buddy was in the military for like 10 years. I think he got out at like E4, and he'd been knocked back from E10 like 7 or 8 times. Like, he was that guy. But,
damn.
Of course, he didn't care. Like, he wasn't going to fuck up anybody else's career but his own. Absolutely.
He could have gone far.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, he did go very far, and he.
Except he's a dick.
He is a dick, but I love him. I love him.
You like other dicks, though.
Assholes. Assholes and dicks. Man, like.
That's because you're gay. You're gay as shit. Yeah. I was going to say something else, but it's not PC.
Well, let's face it. We're all assholes in our own special little way.
Yeah, like. No, okay. Back to on topic. Now that we've lightened the mood a little bit.
13% gay.
No, I'm 8% gay. 10%, that double digit. That's where you start to get that danger zone. Anyway, I've had a lot of friends tell me that they need help. Okay. And for those of us who weren't in the military, guys, I'm actually talking to you. I'm not talking to the ex-military. This is solely for you as civilians, because everybody knows someone who's in the military.
My entire life is filled with guys who are in the military.
Right, you do your part. I'm not talking to you.
I don't do the entire military. I promise.
Just the airport. Anyway, back to what I was saying.
I don't know.
Guys, like,
I love your honesty.
you really need to actually be that support group for the military because their government isn't doing it. They're not helping them out at all, which means it's our job. That's our job. Okay? That's not the military's job. That's our job. We're the ones who need to take care of that. We need to recognize the sacrifice. We need to step up. Whether you agree with it or not, it's still your civic duty. And it might not be in the bylaws or any of that other shit and written down, but it doesn't matter. It's still the duty of every person in this country to take care of the military veterans. Because when they come back, they get fucked up and left in a ditch when they come back. That's it. There's not a lot of military who come out of the service who are okay when they come back. And we need to recognize that. We need to take care of them the same way that we would take care of any one of our friends.
True.
We need to do.
Okay, who is rattling something?
Oh, sorry. I'm going through a bunch of DVDs or Blu-rays.
Oh God, you're a '90s baby then.
No, I was born in the '80s.
I don't know whose jacket this is.
Like I said, at the very least, a '90s baby. My wife's.
I prefer the nostalgia of going through my DVDs and grabbing a DVD and putting it in a machine instead of digital downloads, so I won't have to worry about buffering.
Cassettes. Nobody knows about the cassette.
Hey, I still got my VHS player too.
Yeah.
No joke.
All right. I would like to know for the men who have been in the military that are on this air right now. When you first came back, what was your first month like in civilian territory?
You always ask. This is why I have you here. You ask good questions.
My first month back involved a lot of alcohol, a lot of drugs, a lot of fights, a lot of lost friendships.
I bet in that first month, if you had support.
You party animal, you.
Right. What'd you say, Corey?
Finish your roles. You were ex-Air Force. Why don't you hop on the call here and talk with the other military personnel? Waiting. He's probably gonna be like, nah, I can't do that. Nah, not going to.
It's okay. We can read your comments.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm hearing is that the first month out, it was a lot of drugs, alcohol. Strange in the World said he slept in a garage for the first month. Do you guys know how sad that is?
All right, now.
Yes, I do.
Why did you feel the need?
I slept in a U-Haul.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Why did you guys feel the need to go to those links?
Because
what
they didn't
was
have
missing?
any other recourse.
No. What was missing, or what did you feel that was missing that made you turn towards those outlets?
For me, it was I had like little man syndrome, and I thought I was on top of the world. because of my military service. Like, I got out. All right, cool. Now I'm a fucking king. Let's go. Oh no, it's not like that. What do I do? Oh, everybody's drinking. Let's drink. Drugs.
So what I'm hearing is that you came from a place where everybody knew exactly what their job was, to getting out and realizing that nobody over here knew what the fuck their status was and acts like a king anyway.
Yeah. It's just like, oh, okay, so we're all on top of the hill now? Okay. Well, guess what? I can outdrink you. I can do more drugs than you.
Let me tell you, I was trained to drink by my military friends, and I can definitely drink. I don't because I'm diabetic. But let me, you know what? I'm actually going to make this comment. Hold on. I want to make this comment. Okay, guys. I've got a spare bedroom. My spare bedroom is set up for absolutely anybody that needs it. Okay. And the reason for that is because, like, I have friends that come and visit. Absolutely. Everybody has friends that come and visit. But my spare room is literally set up for people who need it to use it. Okay. That's why I have it. Now, eventually I'll have kids and I won't have that spare bedroom, but I'll always have a couch. I'll always have a place. Okay. And that's what's needed. What you guys are listening to is military veterans telling you in their own words that when the first month they got out, they slept in U-Hauls and garages. Guys, we're failing our military. We're failing our veterans. Okay, we can't expect that they have some sort of mental health if we're letting them down to this extent. We need to pull them up when they get out. We can't constantly drop them. That's wrong.
Can I tell you about an experience I had outside of the military?
Absolutely.
It involves the homeless though. Like,
come closer to your microphone.
I'm close. I'm just in the bathroom. So I live in the Midwest, and you think that there's a big homeless problem until you travel to the West or the East Coast. Like,
a huge homeless problem. When I lived in Seattle, I saw it daily.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! I went to California. I was on a bus, and I was waiting for a little bit. You know, had a little like switch over, and then I got on the bus to go to Carlsbad, and which is north of San Diego. And we're pulling out of the bus lot, and I can literally count hundreds of homeless people, like literally hundreds of. It opened my. I started crying. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is horrible.
I feel you. Like in my town, like every single corner, there's at least like 3 to 5 homeless people asking for money in almost every single corner. There's like every other street you go, there's a homeless person. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, these poor people are here. Our government doesn't do shit to help them. I mean, granted, some of them are there because, you know, they put themselves there and they don't want to get off the streets. And we all have to admit there is those percentile that rather sleep on the streets and be productive.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did think to myself later on too, like, when do you forsake yourself?
Right.
Like when?
Okay, I'm actually going to do you guys a little bit of a thing. I'm going to look something up real quick.
It's extremely bad in California.
So what do you think? What do you think, in your own opinion, in your own experiences, could help combat, especially the homelessness with the military?
Never giving up. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself if you have to. Fuck everybody else. Believe in yourself and never give up. That's it. You just got to rely on yourself, because if you don't, then you're gonna have to rely on these VA people, or you're gonna have to rely on these homeless shelters and stuff. You know, just and then you're gonna wind up getting burned eventually.
But though, you got to remember though, or you got to say though, you know, it's not bad if you have to start off in like a good Samaritan home or one of these homeless shelters first to pick yourself up.
Not bad.
So
It's not bad. Not yet.
I don't want nobody who's listening to this, or if they're ever almost in that situation, not to think it's not okay to go to those places. Go get help. Like I said before earlier in the podcast, there's nothing wrong about going to get help.
All right, hold on. Strange New World, can you expand on your thought of outprocessing?
Say that again?
So right now, the amount of homeless people, like as a whole, a little bit more than 60% of them are men. Actually, I think that number is wrong. I think it's actually closer to 80% because I might have looked at you.
No, there are a ton of homeless women out there. Yeah,
it's just something I don't see very often.
Yeah.
Homeless women, I see them quite a few.
Yeah,
quite a few of them over here.
The majority of homeless women are typically rape victims, abusive home, domestic violence, stuff like that. They're typically it's more rare for a woman to be homeless, but 40% of the homeless population is women.
Okay, so Strange New World says if there was an actual person that they would assign you and talk to you while you're still in your hometown, it would be a pipeline and work. As a person as in VA rep that you don't have to look for. Now, honestly, I agree with that. I actually said something similar earlier about having, like people in your hometown or families in your hometown, going to live with them while you're out processing from the military. That way you have a place to sleep, you have a place where there's actual food, you have a place that's going to be able to take care of you, being around in a family unit and help integrate you back into civilian life. That was kind of my thought process on that. And
it was very important for these soldiers who get out of the military that are veterans that they go with family. They start off with family. I mean, there's nothing wrong about going back home. I mean, your home, your home is where you hang your hat, is where the heart is, and that's very important. I'm glad you said that about going back home and starting off, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, I've known my cousin who was in the Army. When he got out of the military, he went back home with his mom and dad. He lived with them for so many amount of years, and then he finally got his own place when he was able to reestablish himself back into civilization or with civilians.
So my question is, do you feel like he integrated back into society better after doing that or worse?
Better. As a matter of fact, I say better because he runs two businesses.
Right. That he was able to lean on. He got his mind straight after the military and then was able to go off and accomplish shit.
Yeah, I mean, I helped him too. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I helped him too. I mean, his mom and dad gave him shelter, gave him love and support. And me as his cousin, I gave him support too. Anything that he wanted or needed help with, I went all out my way to help him out. No problem and stuff. So, yeah, it does, people got to remember, once somebody gets into the military, their mind essentially is reprogrammed out of being a civilian. Their mode of mind is, I'm going to say very broadly, it's kill or be killed.
Yeah.
Very broadly, I will say yes. Very broadly.
What the thing that bothers me is it doesn't really matter. The majority of the people, like the questionnaire and stuff you go to when you're entering into the military, that involves the mental health. You have the people that are like, just don't mention it. Don't say anything. If you've had anxiety, don't even talk about it. Don't talk about any of your mental health because that could be a disqualifier. Don't mention any kind of previous medical problems because our exams, they won't discover them anyway. So your career will be ended kind of thing. You won't get any type of benefit, but we're not going to offer you any form of emotional or mental help while you're in here either.
Strange New World is absolutely correct.
The longer I listen to this, the longer we have this conversation, the more I think that this should actually be a thing. Because like Strange New World said, going from base to base, you have a solid foundation to show you to your dorm or your barracks, and they in-process you with a lot of details. Getting out, you don't have any of that.
Getting out is more or less for me my opinion, like, are you a check mark or are you not? Like, yes or no? No. All right, cool. Move on. Next one.
Right. And you shouldn't be a check mark, man. Nobody should be a check mark on a piece of paper. You shouldn't be a statistic. But we all are a statistic in some way, form, or fashion. Like 10% of all homeless people are veterans. Okay, 10%. That's a large majority of
that's small. But yeah.
That's still a large majority when you consider that it's a double-digit number that we're letting fall through the cracks simply because they got out and didn't have any kind of support group. Okay.
Can you say that stat again, please?
Say what?
Can you say that stat one more time, please?
Yes, actually, you know what? I'll read the exact stat. Let's see here. 11% of the adult population are veterans. 45% of all homeless veterans are African American or Hispanic, despite only accounting for 10.4% and 3.4% the U.S. veteran population, respectively, and then it goes off. But
and actually,
isn't it like less than 1% of the United States population goes into the military?
That's a great question. Let me actually look that up. I want to get the actual statistic. Let's see here.
It's like less than 1 or 2%, I believe, but don't quote me on that. But that's crazy, man. If that is like, that's crazy.
that is.
How do you
several
jump from
100,000 people?
How do you go from less than 2%? Oh man.
Okay, 0.5% of the American populace joins the military. 0.5% of the U.S. populace.
That's a couple of million people.
Now that you take in that 0.5% of people in the United States join up the military, does that 10% seem like a large fucking number?
Yeah.
Okay, that means that we're literally just fucking throwing them out the door into the ditch ourselves. That's what that tells me. Okay.
And I think a lot of issues also revolves around civilians because a lot of us are so strong-willed against a war of any kind, so they automatically demonize the military when the majority of the military is, looking for a hand up because a lot of them come from extreme
bro, I get angry too.
areas, right? So they're looking to get that education and they're looking to get that, and they're not necessarily looking to, fight a war for their country. I mean, some go in like, fuck yeah, let's kill these people, but some of them are legit. They just want, a small hand up, and the government offers, a laughable education of that. And the majority of them can't even use them out here in civilian life.
Nope.
And that's the fucked up process. So we're literally, a lot of the civilians are demonizing the military just for being a part of the military, even if they fought or not.
I like her statement made it it's very factual, and I got really pissed off because this.
That pisses me off when people do that shit.
Like I started shaking there. My fists were shaking because I was like, oh, okay, all right, calm down. I went to high school with a girl who straight up was like, all the military personnel should die. They're just fighting wars for the defenseless.
Yeah, that's what unfortunately, just being raw with you, that's what gets you slapped.
So here's the thing. I'm a huge anarchist. Huge. I don't believe in government, but I fucking support the military. I come from a very strong, independent military family. The majority of my family were Air Force and Navy.
So you don't support any form of government at all?
No.
Okay, well, hold on.
Hold on. I support the military because they are the humans, and they are the ones that are dying for, a greedy government who's literally looking just to make bank off of you.
Now, I will say this. This is where me and her differ slightly. If you go back into the baby stages of our government, it was put together to be a liaison.
Sounds slightly serious.
Yeah. It was put together to be a liaison between the people and foreign governments. That was what our government was set up to do. And now it's got a hand in literally everything. That's the issue that I have. If your government can't run a cat house, and I keep saying this because it's fucking true.
I'm tired of hearing you sound like a parrot. So just repeat.
They literally run a cat house. If you guys don't know this,
good point.
The government took over a cat house and tried to run it, and it went bankrupt. They literally couldn't run a cat house profitably. Okay, that's
That's
real
funny.
fucking history. And if they can't run a cat house and be profitable, why should they be running a doctor's office?
Surprisingly, not a lot of cat houses are actually profitable because they are so expensive.
That's true. Slightly serious.
And you can legit find a hooker on every fucking street corner, or somebody willing to, give a blowy behind a dumpster for $5. There's always.
But shit, you walk into a bar and half the women in the bar are there. I mean, yeah, they're very approachable when it comes to certain offers. I mean, like from my experience walking into a bar, I had at least maybe like 2 to 3 women that they were just freely walked up to they walked up to everybody, not just me, but every guy, and was like, "Oh, you wanna? I'll give you $50. I'll give you a blowjob, $100 sex." I'm like, "The fuck you come from giving these offers?"
I'll laugh right in their face.
So, sex is freely bought and had for free everywhere. So I can understand where a lot of cat houses struggle. And in Nevada, especially, they have so many brothels and stuff that, sex is free there, essentially. So when you can find a drunk chick to bang for free, with a condom, you may not have the testing and everything. But versus, spending several $1,000s at a cat house, what most people are going to go for. They're going to go for
where else are you going to get a chick to ride a donkey naked around the room while you bang another chick?
Not my bedroom.
Did you say a chick riding a donkey?
Fucking donkeys!
All right, that was a joke. But
I was gonna say, dude, that's pretty gross, bro.
Right now, he's making fun.
I'm aroused.
I'm actually going to read this comment real quick. Slightly Serious says, if there is no governing body, there will be chaos in society. It just needs reform. Now,
that's true.
Yes, and no. Yeah, some of us have been to Tijuana. So,
Tijuana.
Majority of you have not been to my bedroom, thankfully.
Yeah. So anyway,
only about 7 of you in here. I'm joking. I'm joking. Phil, oh my God, fucking don't shoot me.
Fucking snoots. Anyway, yes, I agree that the government needs reform, but I think it needs reform in the aspect of dialing it back. What we have is an overreach. If you look through history, like Rome, Greece, go back through history, you find the governments and the nations that were huge, and you find governments that got so big that they toppled over. And that's what I want to prevent. That's absolutely what I want to prevent. I want to prevent our government from toppling over, because we do have a decent government in the aspect of, while it's small, there is no overreach. There is no oversight. Or if there is oversight, it's much less.
Okay, so I don't know.
So the problem with our government, the problem with our government is they establish a party or a group in our government called the Electoral College. That's bullshit. That needs to go. There's no excuse. There is no purpose of that.
I don't believe in a federal government, period. I don't believe there is a need for a federal government.
I was with you. I was with you a few years ago about anarchy, no government. But then I realized, I started looking into civilizations that had no form of government. There's one that went for about, I think, 3, maybe 500 years with no government. They all lived peacefully among each other, and they all established they say they had no government, but yet they still had a system to help them with laws and what was right and what was wrong.
So here's
the problem with that society was that because they had no government, they had no established militant form. So another civilization came in and overrun that civilization and committed genocide. They wiped those people out. Those people don't even exist anymore.
Okay, so here's the thing. You don't need a government to establish a military. You don't need a government to establish a militia. I mean, we're surrounded by militias, for the love of God. You don't need a military to fight for your lands and your freedom. Now, I do believe in the power of people. I believe that, especially coming from my nonviolent communication standpoint of things, I believe that everyone is inherently good. They're just only victims of the circumstances that have put on. Now, that's not saying that, no, there are no bad people in society. And yeah, there are power-hungry people. There are greedy as fuck people. There are people that being put in a position of power that don't
All right, Malcolm.
belong there.
It was nice having you on the phone. I hope your back gets better.
Are you leaving?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna hang up. All right, bye.
All right. Anyways, but most definitely, I believe in smaller community systems on a more local level
Mom and pop
because
shops,
I can't. Yeah,
farmers
exactly.
markets.
I don't believe in huge corporations. I don't believe that large government is to be had. But if you look at it, I can't say what Florida needs because I'm not living in Florida. So how can somebody from Florida say what's okay in Florida is okay for Wisconsin? There are different territories. There are different localities that need to be looked at differently. So having a one government of all doing law across the land, it's not healthy in any way, shape, or form. So I think if you definitely dial that back and go for a more localized, what is healthier for our territory at this moment, I think everybody would be a lot happier.
Honestly, I think we need to revisit how we elect the president. What we should do is should get like 50 or 60 volunteers from each state.
No, we
hold
need
on,
to
hold on.
completely abolish the president and have local committees such that have a meeting of, have like 5 people representing each community and coming together for a resolution.
Right. Okay, so just hold on. So the way I think we should elect the president, get like 50 or 60 people that volunteer. Yeah, you go do this while I'm talking about this.
I'm tired of the story.
Okay, so we need to get 50 or 60 people from each state, right? In each state, we take them to like a Thunderdome, all right? And we have those people beat the absolute shit out of each other, and the winner from each state gets to go to like the massive Thunderdome, and then we have them fight each other to the death using only things that they would find at a UN meeting. Okay? Like just have them go at it. Fucking stab each other with some notebooks and shit. But the person who wins, they get to be president. And, we'll reset the terms and shit. Malcolm says, abolish the president, but people would have to be strong enough to listen. Process, rebuttal, not fight, bicker, and cause problems. Yeah, I've gotten that reaction a lot. But see, this is my mindset. Okay, what we're doing now by electing the president, I honestly don't think that we have any say in who gets elected. That's just my honest to God opinion. I think that if voting changed anything, they wouldn't let us do it. That's how I feel. Like, that's honestly how I feel. I think that's how a lot of people feel because we're not able to effectively communicate with our government. We're not able to call them and say, hey, this is an issue and actually be listened to. When you look at new laws and shit that pass.
All right,
hold on.
Man. Fucking hell. Don't make me put on my Catwoman and beat you down.
Yes, the Electoral College must go. Like, in all seriousness, yes, the Electoral College must go. But I truly, honestly feel, actually, I was about to say that if you have money, you can make change. Large corporations, if they want a law to pass, they will lobby for it.
See, and that's why I am so hard.
70%.
And that's why I'm so against large corporations and large government to begin with. That's what I'm saying. If you take 5 people, set up, several different community governments, say there's 20 territories or whatever, and have 5 people from each territory represent to make an overall change of what is to happen with the country as a whole. I think that would be better because each local government is going to be established in its own on what's healthier for their community. And then overall change for a country of what to do with UN. I think backing out of the fucking UN to begin with and ending, the free trade, all of that across the board would definitely do better for our country, especially when it comes to being self-sustaining.
Well, so here's the thing. We are self-sustaining in the sense that everything that we need, we can get here. Okay? Like, let's be honest here. I think
we can be self-sustaining. At this moment in time, we are not self-sustaining. We have the potential to be self-sustaining, but it's not utilized in a way that is healthier
because we're
for our
shutting down,
communities.
thousands of acres of farmland because there's some kind of cricket that lives on it.
No. We're not only doing that, but
there's multiple issues. That's one of them.
We're taking our farmers and giving them subsidies just to grow one crop, just so we can have more of the trade and export it.
Yeah, the majority of the food that's grown in the U.S. is actually exported.
Yeah, I know, and it's given. The farmers are giving subsidies. Like, it's fucking insane.
Like, I want to say, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna.
You know what? Fuck the whole one cock, one crop.
Fuck that one cop.
I want 8 cocks, damn it!
Right there.
No, seriously. The farmers. Leave my stutter alone, for the love of God. I swear to God, I'll fuck you all. I hate you all. No, anyways. Oh God, I think if more people, learned how to be self-sustaining, which, I grow a lot of food on my own. Hell, I still have food in my freezer from a few years ago that I grew myself. What we're doing is we're moving towards a more fast-paced, dependent upon our government. And I don't believe that anyone should be dependent upon our government for any reason whatsoever. We should all learn, be self-taught, and learn from others of how to make those changes in our lives to be self-sustainable. Whether, even if you don't have the fucking room, you live in a small, tiny studio apartment, guess what? You can still buy containers and grow your own fucking food. You don't have to give your food to a large corporation. Well, you don't have to give your hard-earned money to a large corporation.
I actually have percentages here, not statistics. Let me read this shit off to you guys.
Just to buy groceries.
Okay, this is
I love how it cut off.
The amount of shit that is sent overseas. Just a few things like walnuts, cotton, almonds, pistachios, sorghum, rice. Walnuts, we send 79% of all walnuts overseas, 76% of cotton overseas, 67% of almonds overseas, 62% of pistachios overseas. Sorghum and rice, both above 50%. Actually, if you rounded it up, it's 60%. Soybeans, wheat, those are both at about 50%. Half of what we grow goes overseas.
No,
grapes, pork.
Hold on, I'm gonna kind of interrupt you there. We have the potential for amazing agriculture in fucking hell.
Those are just the nuts. Like, I didn't even get to beef, pork, any of the other shit.
Yeah. Anyways, we have an amazing range of agriculture or potential for agriculture in our country. We can be completely self-sustained, but it's not being utilized because major corporations are coming in and being like, no, we want to take over this land. We want to zone this land. We want to do all that. And we're going to strip it down, completely take off access to all resources and, parking lot it over.
You know what I read from that?
Insane.
The information that I gleaned from that? Like, I love walnuts. Like, that's some of the shit that I love. And it's also like $15 a pound.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we're giving away fucking 76 or 79% of the shit that we grow. Door nuts. I'm not gonna. Nope.
What about these nuts? Oh. Anyway.
That was bad. Anyway. But, no, like, okay.
All right, and if we're talking, from a resolution side of things, the resolution for the problem that we're dealing with, and the huge civil unrest that we're dealing with right now is because of these mass corporations, is because of this mass government trying to control everything. So if we move to a more self-sustaining culture where people actually fucking put in the goddamn hard work to sustain yourself and not fucking eat McDonald's 3 or 4 times a day, we would be better off.
Okay, here's the thing. The American people, the American populace, guys, we're hard workers. Okay?
No, you're really not.
We really are.
Okay, so that's the thing. They are being dumbed down and placated in such a way that they don't understand what hard work is anymore. They complain because they lost internet for 3 fucking hours, so they don't know how to go outside and fucking till their own goddamn land. They have too much downtime.
It is a lack of knowledge It is a lack of just.
You know,
strife.
if it's a lack of college, lack of knowledge right now, then what we need to do is stop having or hold our fucking parents accountable for each passing generations and be like, why are you not instilling this knowledge down to each passing generation?
Why do you think I think that there should be a test before you have kids?
Like legit.
Hey, Ace, how you doing? We missed you for the majority of our podcast.
And it's almost over now, you bitch. Anyways,
Love you.
Yeah, exactly. You strange new world, so stop breaking veterans' backs and we can work harder when we get out. That's very fucking true. Like legit, 100% true. You know, the way we're going with right now is just going to create more civil unrest. It's going to create more toxicity within our government, and it's going to give only just a few people power. And so American people in general, they're not going to feel like they have the power. They're not going to feel anything.
Strange New World says also promote trade jobs in more positive light, finance them more, instead of only making college education seem like the golden ticket.
I agree.
Absolutely. Let me just say, like, I have my own trade. I went to trade school because I wanted to have something to fall back on if what I was doing didn't work out, okay? I ended up in the mental health field through very weird circumstances, but...
Same. Okay, so I have about $50,000 worth of student loan debt just from putting myself through college, and there will probably be more by the time I complete my master's. So I can imagine that it'll be closer to $100,000 worth of college debt by the time I'm done. Now that's not saying if I choose to take it to my PhD or not, that'll be even more fucking money.
Yeah, it will be.
You know, and that'll be, PhD that'll be close to $200,000. But still, like,
I learned
right now, my college education, right now, my college education is not supported by my employment. So what that means is I don't even work in the industry that I got educated on. So that's fucked up.
That's the majority of people who go to college.
Yeah, like, so I have legit.
The NSA.
Oh, that's cool. All right, so my degree is literally in production for graphics. So meaning I can go in, I can build video games, I could program video games, I can do all of the artwork, I can work on movies, I can do code. All of that shit.
All you gotta say is I can do code work. But because you're a woman, people are like, she don't know what she's fucking talking. All right, guys.
No,
I'm pretty fucking good with computers. When I have an issue,
it's not because I'm a woman that I'm looked down. I mean, it is a little bit. I was literally top of my class educated, but I was literally the only woman who graduated with my degree. 99.9% of that was other men, because most women are afraid of STEM jobs because it's not very ladylike. They're taught that only men can accomplish certain things. Only men have the brain for it. So that is my thing. I am programming, and I don't even fucking work in it. No. At all. I was never even able to have an internship in it when I got out of college. And that's fucked up. So I have all of the student loans.
Uh-huh.
I have everything that I've got to pay for it. But yet, I live in an area that doesn't support my degree.
You also live in an area that's backwards and feels like women don't need to work because they're women and they need to stay barefoot and pregnant.
That's fucking true.
Yeah, I know it's fucking true. I know you were like...
I swear to God, if I get told to go make a fucking sandwich one more goddamn time...
You know what? I'm going to be real with you. I have never told my wife to go make me a sandwich.
Even my husband has told me to go make him a sandwich.
I've never told my wife to go make me a sandwich.
You know, granted that it was in a joking way.
Dude, you're getting called out. I know you're listening. I know you're getting called out.
I swear to fucking God, if I hear those words one more fucking time, I'm going to throat punch a motherfucker, and I'm going to be like Carla from the Trailer Park. Like,
I know exactly who you're going to throat punch.
I don't give a shit if I cook good food. I am not...
Okay. But you're good. You really okay? All right, guys. Like, holy shit, this lady can fucking cook. Like, and it's not just like simple shit. Like, but what was that lamb sauce you made the other day with the Gouda cheese and the rack of lamb? Like, I mean, that was some good shit. Like, all right, like straight up, like 5-star shit.
People enjoy my fucking food. I make gourmet food, and most people Yeah, I do need a food truck. I make really fucking good food, but it doesn't fucking matter. If I get told to go make a sandwich one more fucking time to belittle my opinion and my knowledge as a woman, I'm just going to straight third person. Yeah.
I appreciate you as a person.
I know.
Yeah, that's not what you thought I was going to say.
Everybody wants me to bring them food. Okay, there are a few people listening.
You know what's fucked up?
That
What's fucked up
actually had my food.
There's a lot of people who they look at the picture and like, ew, that looks disgusting. And I'm like, no, that's what you would get at at least a 3-star establishment. At the very least.
So, yeah, fuck man, every weekend I prep cook for everybody. But, my family has got so much goddamn food in the freezer that I prep cook for them.
Oh, hell.
They don't even cook.
It's me and my wife in this house. And you've seen the kind of food that we go shopping once a month. And we eat on that for, it feels like years.
Yeah, so I shop about twice a month or anything like that when I'm.
You also got she goes shopping twice a month. She's got 3 kids, her husband. Well, okay, so 4 kids and herself.
and everything that I take care of, all the people that I prep cook for, everybody that.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot that you did the prep cooking for bodybuilders. She actually has a background in nutrition, guys. She's I'm diabetic. And she did help me out with a menu because when I found out I was diabetic, I was kind of fucked up.
Okay, so this is what I did when I found out he was diabetic. I broke into his home. Well, it wasn't a really break-in because I got
my wife lets you in.
Yeah, she gave me the code of the house, and I've had it literally ever since. Anyways, so that's why I just come in here. But anyways. I literally plastered and hid everywhere all over his house diabetic memes.
I found one the other day. I was like, that fucking... Okay, guys.
Yeah, that's great.
She broke... Okay, well, hold on. Ace says, we're having a Zoom meeting tonight about a movement and trying to build the foundations. If you'd like to join, it's at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. However, I don't know how to contact you all. I can't get on my Facebook.
All right, hey, you can send an email to justfkpodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
All right. Anyways, we were saying, so I literally broke into his house, and I had a print of like 300-400 memes. I mean, just a huge fucking stack.
Legitimately, 400 fucking pages of this shit.
Yeah, so I went in and printed them out. Huge stack that was 7 inches tall, just of memes all over the place. And there were 2 memes on each page. And then I plastered them and hid them inside shoes all over his house, inside his wife's stuff. I put it in, I rolled one up and stuck it down inside of a dildo, if that says something, in the battery pack of a dildo. I just absolutely plastered them everywhere. I stuck them in all the food in the freezer. That was legit the funniest prank that I've ever done. Of course, I love pranks, so pranks are. My husband is here.
I was told there would be sandwiches.
Fuck off. Give me a
I was a block away when you said that.
I swear to God.
I'm coming up the street when you said that.
Oh, everybody tortures me. So what were we talking about?
We were talking about sandwiches.
Fuck off.
So
speaking of,
dude, okay.
There's a bag
your
of
fridge,
bacon. There's a bag of bacon in the fridge.
Hold up, guys. I'm gonna actually throw this out here. In my house,
I literally come in and I start rooting for food.
I'm actually gonna explain the house rules. Okay. So in my house, if you're
He has a bag of bacon. It's amazing.
I always have a bag of bacon.
I'm gonna eat
2 days a week, I eat bacon.
It's nice to have you, Matt. Shit, Matt.
Here, have a good day, Malcolm. And here's to lots of healing. And I hope you feel better. Fuck, dude, come on over if you want a fucking bag of bacon. Seriously, he's got chocolate covered strawberries and a bag of bacon, and that's what I eat on while I'm here.
Yes, as a house rule, and I'm going to explain this to you guys. Maybe you guys can actually pull this into your own house, okay? Because this is important for me.
Okay, I will totally bring you food. I will be there Friday. So if you're there Friday around 5, between 5 and 6, I'll bring you some food.
Here's the house rule. If you show up to my house and you're here 3 times, the first 3 times you're in my house, you're a guest. Which means you get taken care of. You can sit on the couch and I'll get you drinks and I'll get you food, whatever you want. After that 3rd fucking visit, at that fourth visit, and I tell this to everybody who comes over, that way they can count the number of times they've been over if they don't want to do shit. Okay? The fourth time you come here, you're no longer a guest, you're family, because you've been here more than 3 fucking times, which means you help clean and, put shit up. But you also get unauthorized access to the refrigerator and all the food in the house.
Hold on. So I'm here all the damn time. Like, I just come in, I'll walk right into his house. Like, I don't even give a shit. Like, he's my best friend.
Walk through my living room and pick shit up on our way to the kitchen.
Yeah, I start cleaning. The moment that I walk through the door, I start picking up trash and dishes.
And it's
I
not
have
even
a handful
that my
of
house
stuff.
is that dirty. It's just my wife's cup of whatever she was drinking last night sitting on the table. But she picks that shit up, takes it right to the kitchen. Guys, get yourself some friends like that. They'll drive you insane. They'll take away the fun of doing your chores because you have no more chores to do. But that's okay because you go over to their house and you completely renovate their entire home while they're on their thing and you fucking exercise the shit out of it.
I had to rearrange so much stuff.
I bet you did. Like, I cleaned everything.
Yeah.
Except for your room. I didn't touch your room. That's kind of... My thing is, other people's bedrooms, that's their safe space. So I don't like going into other people's bedrooms.
Yeah.
The only thing that's made me comfortable going into your bedroom is because that's the way to get out the backside of the house.
I know the back door of my house opens up straight into my bedroom, and I do not like it because it makes me feel really unsafe when I sleep at night. So I don't sleep a lot when I'm at home because if somebody breaks in, I'm going to have less than 2 seconds to react. So I'm not even going to be able to open my eyes before they shoot me in the head, and that freaks me the fuck out.
Right. But like I said, people's bedrooms, they're like their sacred place. Okay, that's where they sleep. And I have this thing, I don't even go in my mom's bedroom.
I sleep more in my chair in my living room than I do in my bedroom.
Yeah, I sold you those chairs. I know how comfortable they are.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, so we're coming up on 2 hours, guys. So I think we got a lot covered today. When talking.
Honestly, Ace, if you came more than 3 times, it's fine. But okay, let me reiterate that. All right, hold the phone. I know somebody's fucking gonna comment. If you come and visit more than 3 times, that's fine. Holy shit.
Okay, so I have
myself afterwards.
So I have a thing. If you're one of my best friends, or if you're fucking me, you have complete access to obviously my body, but also my home.
Well, okay.
So I don't have a time visit, but if you're good to the point where I invite you over to my home, period, you're welcome to do whatever the fuck you want.
Right, within reason. Within reason. I mean, that's kind of my whole point.
My chair naked, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? Okay. Here's the fucked up thing. I've seen you naked a lot.
You've seen me naked a lot.
I know.
And okay, hold on. So for background of this comment, guys, we have never been romantically involved in our life.
Never. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I have seen every single one of my friends naked, not through any sexual conduct, but just hey, here's my dick. Or hey, here's my tits. Hey, look at my ass. Does this look good? Okay, what do you want me to fucking say?
Okay, we're going off on a tangent. So let's end this. All right, we covered a lot with resolution today and talking with some of our veterans. We had 2 veterans on phone calls.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to do what I wanted to last Tuesday.
Yeah, I was unable to find a white nationalist that was actually willing to come in and speak amicably. Thank you.
That was kind of my whole thing.
Stutter.
Okay, this is what I want. Ace, maybe you can help me out with this. What I wanted was to be able to sit down and have people from very different walks of life and sit down and have an amicable conversation, a very level-headed conversation, one that you can respect each other and still give those viewpoints that you grew up with. That's what I want. Okay, that's where the conversation starts. And if the conversation is not going to start anywhere else, then I want it to start here. Okay, if I can honestly have 2 people sit down, a Black Panther and a white nationalist, and have a conversation. Okay, I just want a conversation. Not a screaming match, but an actual conversation of, look, this is the way I feel. I want people to be honest with their emotions. If they hate Black people because of the color of their skin, then I want them to be honest about that. but I also want them to be honest on the other side as well. Like, I hate you and your entire family and race because you enslaved my people. That's fine. I want the conversation, but I want it to be amicable and calm. And if you start getting angry, like, take some time, cool off, and then come back. That's what I want. That's what I, honest to God, want. I want to be able to have that conversation, and I will do my best to mediate it. Me and Floyd both will, and keep it as calm as possible. But I honestly want military, I want as many people as I can to get on and have that conversation and be respectful. Unfortunately, it's really hard to find a white nationalist that's going to be respectful. Surprisingly.
Gee, imagine that.
I wonder why.
Yeah, the majority of them I've spoken to have been extremely condescending to anybody that they felt has been, a threat to their ideology.
Because
Right.
That's what they do.
Like, I'm not, see, that's the thing. Like, even though their ideology is wrong, and I feel like it's wrong, I'm still going to respect them as a human being. Okay? And that's the basis respect that I give for absolutely anybody. If I don't like you, it's because you're not shit. Okay? That's why I don't like you. If I don't like you, it's because, you hurt one of my family members or you hurt a friend. Like, I have a reason to hate you. I'm not going to hate you for no... Actually, really, the people that I hate can be counted on one fucking hand, and there's like 3 of them.
I hate everyone. I literally start out hating everyone.
Equally, though, because you're not racist.
No, I'm pretty racist.
I guess white people.
Not just white people. Like, I'm pretty damn racist.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
How so?
Fucking NASCAR, man.
God damn it.
Fucking hell.
God damn it.
You don't even NASCAR ban Confederate flags.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I tried reaching out to a few of the local white nationalists here, and none of them wanted to have any interest of it whatsoever.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
So it's okay,
Okay,
but they sent me links
Wait. Did you?
to their they sent me links to catch their words on their podcast
You know what?
or their radio
I
stations.
listened to 20 minutes of Tom Robb talking about some bullshit.
I actually
First three
finished
runs.
that
Did
entire
you?
video.
Wow, I made it 8 minutes into that.
Now, hold on.
I know.
So-
See, okay, so I came at it from a very pragmatic mind, and I actually listened to his message. I listened to it incomplete, and then I realized after I took all of that information, he's not coming from a legit place of hate. This is the fucked up part. Majority of them say, "Oh, well, they're white nationalists. They're fucking. They must be hateful as shit." He's coming from a place of fear mongering. He's using people's fear to get his agenda across, and he's doing about it. And it's a mediocre, intelligent way. It's not that thought provoking, but he's doing it to say, "Oh, well, they're viewing us. It is us versus this enemy." So it's not hate. It's they're taking our culture, they're taking our ideologies, and they're shitting on it. And it's a crime to now be white in America type thing. It's a crime to do all this. Yeah, and it's all fear. It's not a legit hate, but he legitimately believes deep in his soul, and there's a lot of the white nationalists, that there is some kind of weird war on being white, or a war. And I've noticed that with a lot of the black extremists too, the black nationalists.
Yeah.
Like I've definitely seen that there as well. It's both fear mongering on both sides. Yeah.
Okay?
Absolutely.
Every organization has their own extremists. But I will say this. When I was listening to Tom Robb preach his fucking rhetoric, I did hear, he did throw out some Bible verses, and each Bible verse is like, God shall plague the earth, in the end days or whatever, with strife or whatever. So I was sitting there, and what I got from that is, it's not white people's fault. It's not black people's fault. It's God's fault. That's the shit that I heard. Okay? And that's bullshit. Just like when my mom was like, "Oh, well, the cops are, just good people, and somebody hurt them, and that's why they're hurting other people." I was like, great. So, Luke 15 says that Jesus will leave the flock of 99 sheep to go after the one stray sheep. And if we're using this as an analogy, the African American people are that one sheep that's lost and nobody's looking for them. And the rest of the 99 sheep are like, "No, don't go looking for that sheep because we're over here." But the Bible says that he will leave to go find that one sheep and bring it back to the herd.
That's you mentioned that during the last podcast.
I did, and I'm gonna mention it again because it's very like, look, if you are a Christian, okay, then you do have to read the Bible, know what it says, and understand that.
See, that's the problem with a lot of Christianity is the Bible has been changed so many fucking times and interpreted a different way.
The majority of versions of it. The majority of my knowledge comes from a literal translation, not a translation, but a literal translation, which means this word means this, automatically translated into it, and because it's not from Hebrew, I think it's like Greek or whatever. Hebrew to Greek is easy, but the original text written in Greek translated is actually easier. Just the nouns and pronouns and everything are switched, and verbs and everything is switched. So it's a lot like reading Spanish that's literally been translated. Okay, so from that, you actually take the same Bible verse and you read it in like the King James version is completely different. You guys, it's like threading through or walking through the eye of the needle. What you guys don't know is the eye of the needle, when they talk about that, it's easier to get a rich man to walk through the eye of the needle. The eye of the needle, literally translated, is the pathway that they would take camels through to get into the city. That's the eye of the needle. It's not an actual needle. It is the name of the tunnel that they would send camels through. And the camels would shit on the path to get into the city. And a rich man wouldn't walk on that shit because he doesn't want to get his feet dirty.
Well, that's why they invented heels in the first place, because men were too good to get their shoes dirty. So they wore
It's for butchers, yeah. Like, guys, if you actually read a literal translation, a lot of shit makes sense. What's happening right now is that the King James version that people usually preach from, the translation is not a translation. It's what's called a transliteration. A transliteration is a translation of a translation. And that's when you start getting into murky waters, because a translation of a translation, you can make it sound however you want.
I want to know how we always get back to religion and Hitler.
Okay, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you how, okay? Because the majority of what's going on today, there's a lot of religious bias and background that's affecting the issues, okay? So eventually we are going to go back into that.
Fucking Hitler. Damn right, fucking Hitler.
There you go. You know what?
Right, you're absolutely right. God does get blamed
Just
for
to throw it out there. Just to throw it out Bible verses. There's mine. Go read it out loud.
What is the Bible verse? Read it out loud. I must.
All right, I'll fucking read it out loud. I don't give a shit. Ezekiel 23:20, the New International Version. There she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys, and whose ambitions were like that of horses.
So they had that big black
I
dick going on.
actually remember this one. If you go into the English Standard Version, it says, and she lusted after her lovers there, whose members were like those of donkeys. It's pretty much the same thing. Let's see, where's one?
She wanted a big dick.
She just wanted a big dick.
I do not want a big dick. That is not something I look for.
Hold on. Now,
I cannot handle big dicks. That is nope.
Here's another translation.
Sorry, black men. Nope.
This is the Good News translation, which it's not a translation, it's a transliteration. They're putting shit on these Bibles that's not true. She was filled with lust for oversexed men who had all the lustfulness of donkeys or stallions. That's not what it says at all. That's not what it says at all. But see, that's what I'm saying. Transliterations, that's murky fucking water. If you're going to get into your religion, then fucking read it. Okay? Fucking go back to the beginning. Yeah, that's
my favorite Bible verse, just so everybody knows.
Hey, you know what? Who hurt him? So, here you go. Young literal translation. And she doth on their paramours, whose flesh is the flesh of asses, and the issue of horses their issue.
What?
Yeah. See, that's not even a translation either. That's a transliteration.
That's a stroke. That's what that is.
Yeah, that's actually a transliteration of a translation.
Eunice is like coming in.
Exactly.
Yes, I will come again over and over.
Okay, like there's
good Air Force men.
There's like if you actually get the like literal Hebrew to English translation, it's completely different. It's always going to be completely different.
Oh God.
Yes.
Would you leave the candy in the house alone,
No,
good sir?
There's your phone.
I swear to God.
But you're absolutely right. Okay, there are translations that differ in who David's bloodline comes through to Jesus, David or Mary. Like, there's my issue with religion today is if you are going to believe in the religion, if you are going to follow the religion, understand what it entails. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, well, the Old Testament says do it this way. All right, here's the difference. All right, this is like, I've got a lot of years spent
hold on.
learning.
So, hold on. Here's my thought process about this whole religion thing. Just a very basic thought process. All right, so you're going to seriously believe that God came down and impregnated a woman, but yet today virgins could easily happen and still give birth.
Right.
It's called scientific progress.
Zeus
However-
everything with a pulse.
Oh, fucking Zeus.
Hey, now hold up.
No,
Odin
but seriously,
promised
but
to get rid
is
of
the thing,
frost giants,
like-
and I haven't seen a single fucking frost giant my entire
But
life.
no, like that's the thing. You're going to believe that several thousand years ago, when this Bible was written or whatever, that a virgin gave birth to the savior of the world, that they killed him. But yet, today, in our scientific process, people don't believe that a virgin could still give birth and could be potentially the savior.
Okay.
Like, that's the thing.
All right,
If you
hold
can't believe it happened 2,000 fucking years ago, then what makes you think it's gonna still fucking happen, or it even happened in general? If nobody's gonna believe about it today, it's like, seriously, for the love of fucking God, use common knowledge, people. Everything that is in the Bible, every single thing in the Bible, is not a truth. It is built on hallucinations by man. Literally every single story. That
You're
is
absolutely
either a
right.
good
So,
acid trip,
hold
good
on.
DMT trip, or just freaking psychosis. Like,
Alright.
I mean, a father cutting his son in half because of fucking
I know,
God
I know,
told
Ace.
him. Like,
I know, I'm right there with you.
what?
Okay, so Ace says the original text is so lost, it's ridiculous. Okay, I agree with you. There are Bibles that do literal translations from Hebrew to English. You can't find them. They're very expensive. They're almost, you would say, so expensive that it makes people feel like it's not worth it. Now, I had the opportunity to actually read a literal translation from English, or from Hebrew to English, when I was younger.
Well, obviously, she still doesn't have audio.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that is really weird.
No, it did that.
Okay, she hears.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why we lost audio. That's
She was
weird.
talking bad about Jesus.
I was actually saying, yeah, something like that. So,
I can't
My
even feel
point-
it on
No,
his straight face.
okay, so I'm not sure where you guys lost audio, but for the love of fucking God,
I'm gonna
use
eat
your
all your
common
bacon,
sense and realize that legitimately the
Go
Bible
for it.
is
I didn't eat dinner last night.
men having psychosis or
Actually-
an acid trip or DMT trip. It doesn't fucking matter. There are several mentions in the goddamn Bible of eating upon a mushroom or a plant or something, and they have these glorious visions. Yes, you're having a fucking DMT trip and then leading into psychosis, and you're going to build an entire fucking religion that is based on 7 other religions beforehand that is built on
you
psychosis.
keep banging the
Like,
the
for the
table.
love of
It's
fucking God,
very
just
possible.
have like people in really. Oh, my brain hurts. I don't understand how people with a logical mind and to take a very pragmatic view actually can believe in any type of religion. It blows my fucking mind. That is where my faith is lost in humanity.
See,
I
and
can't
this
even
is
form a proper thought process when a religious person walks into the fucking room. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, how the fuck can I respect you?
now, hold up. See, this is where we differ. Like, I was raised Catholic, taken to Church of Christ. Honestly, I've experienced most of the different sects of Christianity, and I say sex as an SECTS, not SEX.
I want a lot of
Yes.
sex.
Priest joke.
So
Bring on the tiny peen. Sorry.
there are major differing like lines of Christianity. You know, Catholicism is technically Christianity, but a lot of their shit comes from demonic rituals from the 1500s and 1400s.
Which all comes from a fucking DMT trip. Love of God. Look at most of the Sorry.
And then
I
we
let you
have
talk.
right, and then we have Baptists, buffet Baptists. They pretty much read whatever the fuck they feel like, and they don't read in context. They just read the simple paragraph, and they're like, "This means this," and we're going with the paragraph.
They're
rather than
all
the entire
brimstone
story.
and fire shit. Be
No,
good or you die.
No. Southern Baptist is brimstone and
Okay,
fire.
I was raised
Okay.
in a very strong Southern Baptist family that met with Catholicism.
You were
So
Southern Baptist.
half of my family was Catholic, the other half was Southern Baptist.
You know the difference in the Southern Baptist.
They're all
Catholic, right?
fucking nuts.
Baptists have food afterwards.
No. Catholic will say hi to you at the liquor store.
That's also true.
Now, so I don't know. We after every Sunday we all went to breakfast before, and then after it was a barbecue and beer with the preacher man. Like that's how
Baptist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was a Baptist for a very long time. See, it's come to I still have my faith that there is a God. I'm not going to say one way or the other which religion is correct because I don't think any one
I
religion
tell you
is
what.
correct.
I tell you what. Here,
Follow
why don't
Romans.
you do this? Why don't you take some DMT and go into almost like a what is that sleep? Lucid dreaming,
Mhm.
and then go into put yourself in that meditative state, and then talk to your God then, and
I
figure
just
out.
fucking smoke some peyote in the desert and have the same fucking shit.
There you go.
Like,
Figure out what your God wants you to do because
see,
that's
what
how you're going to
God
connect to
you
your
said
God.
and I hope this is what I believe. I believe that there is a higher power. I also believe that because it's a higher power, and if it is a good higher power, like I believe it to be, then there are standards set upon me by this deity to act as a decent person and to put my effort forth to make sure that the people around me benefit from positivity.
Hold on, do you can be a good person without believing
Absolutely, you're right.
or having that. I think personally, just taking a small part of what you just said, just a small part. If you have to have a fucking book to tell you to be a goddamn good person and not do a lot of shit like rape and fucking murder people, then
What's
you
in the
are a
Bible?
shitty fucking person. Like
A lot.
legit.
I'm not saying I have
Legit.
to have those things to be a good person. What I'm saying is that I do believe that there is a higher power over me. And I do believe that that higher power is good in nature. I also believe that regardless of that higher power, I'm still going to try and be as good a person as I possibly can. Okay. I, however, think that because that higher power is there, it does want me to be better. So
Now,
I
I
do
believe-
strive to
I
be better
believe in-
simply under the belief and faith that there is a higher power.
See, I don't believe in a higher power, but I believe in a strong energy transfer. I know. I realize you have to leave in just a few minutes. Let me finish my fucking thought, please. Now, I believe in energy transfer just because it can be measured, just because it can be actually seen looking at a scientific data. I believe in life. I believe in a. I don't even believe in the out of Africa evolution model. Actually, I believe in the multi-regional evolution model. And
I would love to get Steve on here because he straight up thinks that aliens abducted a bunch of African people
I
and
legit believe in
genetically
aliens.
modified them, and that's where white people came from. Like,
Jesus fuck.
I swear to Christ, yes.
Okay, so white people.
Right.
Okay, and you look at the theories because at this point they're all fucking theories. They're legit all theories because they haven't been proven or disproven, just like fucking religion. But I can disprove religion in just a 30-minute conversation while drinking a beer. But either way, getting on to the fact, the multi-regional dialect shows that we are definitely cross species of like 8 different other species that have come together through fucking evolution. And the multi-regional thing is looking at, okay, so white people get their fair skin and stuff like that from the Neanderthal. That's also where they get the prominent foreheads, because look at fucking Steve. I bet you 10 times what I make in a year that he has a high number of Neanderthal DNA.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
No, I
he's
can tell you that.
straight
Yeah.
up. So, yes, there are multi-regional evolution patterns.
Now this is proven through genetics. I'm not arguing with her at all. This is actually proven through genetics.
If you cannot prove it, if it has to go on a
However-
belief, how can somebody, just my rational thought mind, how can somebody have a legit process that is a thought process, that is strong belief that is built on rumor and not actual evidence.
See, if you believe in the Bible, in Noah's Ark, he had, what was it, 8 sons? 6, 7 sons?
I don't remember, man.
Something like that. Between 6 and 8 sons, which is
the actual shit.
right. So he had like 8 sons that came with it. Hold on, that came with him on the boat when everything flooded and died, and each son was representative of the race. So basically, what you're saying is, or different races. So basically, what you're saying is that cousins fuck cousins, and then you have a multi-racial group of humanity from Neanderthal to Asian.
I is not looking at that. Okay, so question. Okay, in the Bible, since you guys are Christian or whatever.
Your husband has to go.
Catholic. All right, I love you. I love you.
Love you too.
Have a good day. Okay, all right, so where was I? Okay, so in your Bible, Adam and Eve is the first people that were ever created, right? They're the creation of everything.
Technically, it was Adam and Lilith.
Yeah, yes. But leave. All right. So looking at those two, then why they're the only people that ever existed on Earth? Then why are there scriptures of when they got kicked out of the Garden of Eden, they were terrified of coming to harm with everyone that was on the outside, and there were thousands upon thousands of people that were on the outside world.
Well, I can tell you what Steve would say. He would say aliens.
No,
seriously, think about it.
I mean, that's a flaw in the fucking text. Like, we are way the fuck off topic. We need to end this goddamn podcast. I swear to fucking God, we are way the fuck off topic. This is not a religious goddamn debate. Everything is religion and Hitler. Fucking hell. Yes. Fuck you, Corey, for making me go on this tangent.
Guys, just saying, we've had a great conversation today
and it should have ended a good 45 minutes ago.
Yeah. from literally like conflict resolution and me throwing poetry back and forth on Minecraft to, because that's a fucking thing I did at 4:30 this morning, and if you guys should actually go back and listen to the beginning of the podcast. There is so much that we talk about in each podcast. We really when we get heated, we get off topic.
I'm not heated. My head hurts now.
It hurts because you're like, these motherfuckers, what the hell? I can see it on your face. I get it.
I have very strong beliefs that are built around science and what you know. And there's a lot that we don't know. But if it's true fact, it can be measured. It can be seen. It can be witnessed. There can be proof created. I cannot, and I strongly urge everybody, if you have to believe in it for it to exist, then it is not worth having a strong conviction over.
Okay, my argument is based on simple mathematics. If you believe that nothing exists and nothing exists, you're right. And you die, that's it. But if you believe that nothing exists and something does exist in the afterlife, then you gave yourself 0% chance to actually get to heaven. Whereas if you believe in something, you at least have a percentage of chance to
my
get
youth
to heaven
pastor
afterwards.
My youth pastor tried to do that same shit with me when I was a kid.
I'm just saying.
And I broke that argument down.
How are you going to break the argument? The argument is if you believe in nothing, there's nothing. And if you or something, in which case it's hell. But if you believe in something, there's at least a chance that you go to heaven.
Okay, so here's the thing. Can heaven be proven to exist?
It doesn't have to be.
We have no idea of interplane travel. Looking at it from a scientific standpoint,
right.
If heaven did exist,
right,
then there would be a measurable form of travel to said plane. Now there are theories, in physics looking at different planes of existence and stuff like that, and different time warps and stuff. None of them are measurable. None of them are proven. Now, when looking at that, it would definitely, it's not some fucking sky daddy, because we've been past the clouds. Mm-hmm. There's no daddy in chains yelling, brimstone and fire to hell with you guys. Okay. There's none of that. What we do see is we see multiple planets. We see other life on other planets. Mm-hmm. We see the same evolutionary pattern that happened on our planet on other planets. Therefore, that is provable.
Okay.
But some, sky daddy was not proven. Aliens have been proven. Fucking aliens have been proven. That has been proven. We have found life on other planets. Therefore, aliens do exist. That has been proven.
Okay. All right. So my argument still stands, though. You can believe that nothing exists and either be right or wrong, in which case you go to hell. Or you can believe that something exists and be wrong and nothing exists, and fine, that's all right. At least
why do you want to spend that time on a belief that cannot be proven when you can spend your time actually discovering things in your world that never before thought could exist?
See, you're still viewing it as Christian. I'm talking about absolutely like the Great Spaghetti Jesus or whatever it's called.
No, it's looking at a religion as whole. So religion caused the fucking Dark Ages. It stopped this scientific emotion. Religion is still stopping that scientific process of learning and discovering. It is putting up laws. It is putting up blocks. It is hindering the human in our knowledge. We can know so much more, but people are putting a religious and moral compass on things. Therefore, we cannot do more. So people are hindering the knowledge process.
You're right that the
because of religion.
Because of religion. I will definitely give you that. And I will definitely give you that religion typically hinders any scientific expanse because we have some sort of like dialogue between ourselves and other people that prohibit them from doing something, in which case we start a fervor, and that ultimately shuts down a lot of the scientific community. I'll give you that. 100% I agree with you. Okay. I also think, however, that if heaven does exist, believing in nothing means you have zero chance of getting there. At least believing in something gets you a chance to have something on the afterlife, and it gives people solace in the fact
so hold on. The belief of something is enough to give you a pass to the great Sky Daddy's kingdom. Is that what you're saying?
It's more than just belief. At this point, some religions, it is just being a good person and you're weighed. On other religions, it's
there's a show. Ted Danson is on it. They created societies in hell or whatever, and that's how they torture people, and they made people believe that they were in heaven or something. What is that? Hey, Herbal. What is that show, guys? All right, for the listeners, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but the cute blonde girl that was Veronica Mars. She played Veronica Mars on the one show, and so the one with like Ted Danson, Veronica Mars. God, I can't remember that show. Anyways. So, tortured people, right? That was the whole thing. Made people believe that there was a heaven and all of that. And there was one episode in particular where they go in and show that literally, there we go.
There you go.
There's literally an episode where they go in and they say, nobody has made it into heaven in over 3,000 years.
Okay.
And it goes on like this point process and all of that. And, just believing gave you like 500 points or some shit like that. But every single action that you do, whether buying a piece of meat from the grocery store, picking a flower, or purchasing a flower, gave you negative points and all this other stuff. So, I mean, looking at that is Christianity as a fucking whole.
There's some forms of Christianity. Other forms of Christianity is the belief or faith in the religion itself or the person or Jesus that gets you to heaven.
See, it's just a way, in my personal opinion here. And
Catholicism is buying your way to heaven. You just say your 30 Hail Marys and leave a donation, go about your way, you make it into heaven, because that's what the priest says.
Yeah, Catholicism, the only one where you can fuck a 2-year-old child and still get into heaven. Because that is great for a moral compass right there.
I'm not saying it's right. Okay, all right.
A religion
there is
as
a
whole.
difference between lawfully right, morally
hold on.
and religiously right.
Let me ask you this. Okay, from a moral standpoint, why would you believe in something that tells you that everything bad that you've done in your life can be forgiven and you can have, the fucking Hail Mary on your deathbed and still go to heaven? You can do whatever bad thing you can in your life. You can murder, you can pillage, you can rape children, you can rape women, you can rape men, you can rape whomever. You can be gay, you can do all this, and everything bad in your life that you can do, you can just be literally the worst person ever. But as long as you're on your deathbed, you can repent and ask Jesus to save you. And then all of a sudden those bad things are all washed away. every sin you've ever committed. So fucking Hitler could be in heaven right now.
Okay, I'm gonna give you
Like
some,
with this thought process of religion, it's literally used just as a way to control you. It's mass control for every citizen. It is not. It is not something. It's not anything good, and nothing good comes out of religion.
I beg to differ.
What good
For
comes
those-
out of
For
religion?
those people who do need someone to tell me what's for those people who do need someone to tell them what's right and what's wrong, then religious is the basis for them becoming a good person. Okay, so
Religion doesn't give good people, though. There is nothing good that comes out of religion. The people in general, what good comes out of religion?
See, this is where I know that you've had really like bad experiences.
That's the
with
thing.
church.
I haven't, though. I'm just
Right.
looking at society as a whole,
The society
and
as a
I'm
whole has
making
used
a very
religion for
proper diagnosis here.
years. Yeah, see, you're still looking at the proper diagnosis. There's no benefit to it. Whereas just believing that there's an afterlife does allow people to find solace on their deathbed.
How
Like-
how does that give solace, though? What you were? I fail to understand why dying and going to some Sky Daddy's BDSM kingdom or whatever you want to call it,
Heaven.
whatever. I doubt it call it heaven. But anyways, some Sky Daddy's kingdom, going there for what? To pet 70 puppies? No. I cannot grasp how a logical person I cannot grasp how a logical person who looks at the world in a very pragmatic way, who is not to be thought controlled by the masses, but legit see things for how they really are, can believe in some Sky Daddy's kingdom. Like, seriously.
I think you're closing yourself off to the benefits of religion. Like, I mean, you're listing all of the shit that religion does, and yeah, there's a lot of shit that's wrong. Okay, religion was not there to control the masses. As a matter of fact, Christianity was originally there as the next step.
No, religion.
The Old Testament, when the Old Testament ended, all that shit, all those laws, like not wearing clothes that had mixed products and all kinds of shit, like that's all Old Testament. There was the New Testament that came about and was written, and it was, hey, these are the new rules, and people abided by those rules. And
So what you're saying that it was a way to control the masses and more like a law book than actual fact.
I think that in most religions, because we're on Christianity, we'll take the Ten Commandments. There's really no wrong or bad commandment.
I would personally follow the satanic commandments or the tenets, the 7 satanic tenets, before I would follow the Christian 10 commandments. Just because it is more human based on legit human rights.
Well, see, I mean, the Ten Commandments: don't steal, don't murder, don't covet your neighbor's stuff, do not envy. Like, those are basic creeds of just about every religion.
Well,
it's just because it's attached to Christianity, I feel like you're attaching it to the negative hype. Like, there are positives to the religion as a whole. It gives people something to believe in, something to have faith in. When you have faith in humanity, it lets you down every fucking time.
All right, hold on. All right, I've got the 7 fundamental tenets pulled up. All right, this is better than the Christianity stuff, and it's actually interesting because a lot of people don't know this, but it's based on total humanity. All right, so number 1 should strive to act with compassion and empathy towards all creatures in accordance with reason. That means it's putting all life form on this planet and saying to have respect for it. Like, legit. The Christians don't have that shit. They're like, no, cut down entire fucking villages if we don't fucking believe.
No.
Raid the fucking rainforest and indoctrinate every child there and kill them in.
You're looking at just the extremist part of it. Every religion,
every major war
person
has been found on the
some
toxicity
sort
of religion.
Hold on. But everything has some sort of extremist to it. Like the Westboro Baptist Church, those motherfuckers, those are extremists.
They're just gay haters. All right, number 2. The struggle for justice is ongoing and necessary pursuit that should prevail over laws and institutions. Meaning.
Yeah, see, like that right there. You know, Herbal's Muslim. Doesn't mean she's a fucking extremist. There are extremist Muslims, just like there's extremist Christians, just like there's extremist Buddhists. Okay? Typically a Buddhist isn't going to be violent, though. Those motherfuckers are...
Hold on. All right, so number 3 alone. One's body is inviolable, subject to one's own will alone. In Christianity, all right, that teaches you have true control over your body. You can say what the fuck happened to it, but in Christianity, it says you are owned by your husband. You are a piece of property. You're cattle to be bought and sold.
See, this is where...
Like,
I know you're going to get heated over this.
No, I'm not heated for... And then number 4.
I think you should let me finish.
Hold on.
I agree with it on the premise that your body is your body. Okay, I'm not saying that it is wrong. I'm not saying that these creeds are bad.
Yeah, but in Christianity, you can make your wife sleep in a fucking barn because she's on her period.
This is what I'm... Okay. Right, you're not listening. You're not listening to me.
I have no respect for Christianity.
Just hold the fucking phone. Just Gruß Fraba, okay? Gruß Fraba. Chill the fuck out.
No, I'm not going to chill when it comes to religion. This is my tangent here.
Hold on.
God, and don't get me on the fucking the 7 fucking or the 12-step program for fucking rehab based around Christianity.
Okay. All right. Pause.
What?
Pause.
Let me finish reading these.
I know what you're going to do.
All right. Number 4. The freedoms of others should be respected, including the freedom to offend, to willful and unjustly encroach upon the freedoms of another is to forgo one's own. I love that.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 5.
I'm not arguing with you. These are just
I'm just saying. Okay. I'm just saying Satanists are more moral and just than Christians. And this is the point that I'm getting to it. All right, number 5. Beliefs should conform to one's best scientific understanding of the world. One should take care to never distort scientific facts to fit one's belief. Fuck you, Christians, because you do that often.
Right.
Dinosaurs never
I know, Herbal. It's all right. She's very, very intent on this.
All right, no, I'm not speaking of actions of a few. I'm speaking as a fucking whole in all of the unjust and terrifying travesties that Christianity as a whole has done to indoctrinate, murder, rape, and pillage the fuking citizens of the world.
There have been major instances, yes, of war. Like the Crusades were fought by the king, whatever his fucking name was. And
all right, number 6. People are fallible. If one makes a mistake, one should do one's best to rectify it and resolve any harm that might be caused. Basically, if you fucked up and you will, make it fucking right. Christians don't say that shit. Christians say cut off a fucking ear, cut off a fucking toe.
No,
guess what? We're gonna put you to death.
You're getting your religion mixed up. Okay.
All right.
Christians say turn the other cheek.
No. All right, they don't. It even speaks about in your Bible, eye for an eye.
No, that's not the Bible.
Yeah, that is in the fucking Bible. Eye for an eye is in the fucking Bible. All right, number 7. Every tenet is guiding principle designed to inspire nobility in action and thought. The spirit of compassion, wisdom, and justice should always prevail over the written or spoken word.
Okay, hold on. Maybe it is.
I know it is.
Leviticus and the man who injures his countryman as he is done. So
God damn it. All right, so I gotta go pee now because I'm done with my tangent because I just proved my friggin' point.
Hold on.
Christians believe in the whole eye for an eye thing. Your entire fucking Bible is written on it. It's a belief. It's the whole belief of Christian. It's the whole belief of everything with Christians is based on the idea that women are fucking property to be sold and traded. They're fucking cattle. This built on an unjust system of slavery, of power and greed. It is not moral. It is not just. It is not humanism. It is not for the best of all. It is for the best of a few.
All the shit that you're talking about is Old Testament. Like New Testament reads, "Ye have heard that it hath been said, an eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth." Old Testament. But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also. Woo! That got heated. How are you guys doing today? I'll wait while you guys type. It's okay. We're coming to the end of the podcast. We're right at that 2 and 40-minute mark. We're about to get cut off not permanently, but auto cut off because we can only do a 3-hour podcast. I'm glad you're doing good, Herbal. Like, I really am. We have covered a lot of topics today. Go back. We'll post the podcast like we usually do. The original point that we were actually going to talk about today was conflict resolution and the benefits of conflict negotiations in today's society. That was the point.
Corey, your ass is hanging out. I'm going to play with it.
That's fine. I got a high asshole, so I got to lay down and take a shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We have covered a lot of fucking topics.
Yeah. All right.
A lot of the shit that you talk about is Old Testament, which it wasn't even supposed to be included with the New
there's
Testament.
only very few denominations that believe that the New Testament went out the Old Testament. There's actually only like 3 or 4 of them who believe that it was nullified. The rest of them still hardcore believe it. No, it wasn't. That's the thing. That was maybe your denomination that believes that it's nullified, but it was to be included with.
It was nullified. Like, okay, the reason that a lot of people teach the Old Testament is there are some like hardcore Bible thumpers who are like, oh, the Old Testament is the way it should be done. It's that like old world view kind of shit. Okay. It's not supposed to be, sure, learn your history and shit, learn your religion, but you're not supposed to follow the Old Testament. The New Testament is what's supposed to be followed, in which case the eye for an eye shit. And when you do say eye for an eye, it's actually the turn the other cheek, the same fucking verse that I was talking about. Actually, it's not the same verse. It's 2 different verses. One's in the Old Testament, whereas, if one countryman does this to another countryman, then are we going to have to make a new rule?
I'm making a new rule right now.
No religion?
Hold on. No religion, no Hitler.
No religion. No. Leave Hitler off that list. All right, guys, we've got a new rule for the podcast. No religion. So far, we have stay focused and on topic. No pointed questions. Let each other talk. Take your time. No judgment. And no religion.
And no Hitler.
That's not a rule.
No Hitler.
There can only be 7 rules. It's a new rule. I just made it up.
This is not sticking.
That's because you need to put it on there's a magnet there. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so anyway, new rule, guys. No religion. All
right.
This is every time we start talking about religion, like I appreciate the fact that we can actually talk about this and stay.
Like, I'm not heated. I'm not yelling. I'm not angry. No, even before. I'm not angry. I'm just like.
You're very passionate. It's not a bad thing.
All right, I make a vow, guys. I'm not trying to piss anybody off. I'm trying to help people mentally. And religion, in my professional and personal opinion, does no good at all. It doesn't help anyone spiritually. It doesn't help anybody emotionally. It doesn't help them keep a pragmatic approach in things of how, if viewing their own toxicity, what it does is it oppresses your thoughts. It oppresses humans as a whole. And it oppresses nations and makes nations go to war with each other. It is everything wrong that I view with this world. So no, in my opinion, I will never be open to the thought that religion can do any good.
But see, then like our opinions differ. I'm still not gonna hate you for it.
And I don't hate you for your opinion. You have your own shit, but that is my own. So I can never truly respect somebody who approaches me with any form of Christianity. I can respect them as a human, but I cannot respect their word. I can be nice and civil.
See, this is where.
No. Okay, so civility and respect are two totally different things. So I can be nice to you, I can be kind to you, and I will continue to bend over backwards for you. But that doesn't mean that I will truly respect that person.
That's fine. You can have your own opinion. Like, I'm not saying that you're wrong. I have my own opinion, and you are more than entitled to have your own opinion on
and everybody is.
Okay. I've got my own belief system. You know, I believe that the majority of wrongdoings done by Christianity have been by people who took advantage of the system and the power given to them by or through religion and have wreaked havoc. In which case, you guys should read Revelations. The punishment for those people are fucking insane. So, but on to my point is that
the punishment also speaks of not the punishment. Your Bible also speaks of a great beast that shall arise from the ground with a head the size of a bathtub.
Oh, hold on.
So is he fucking Stewie Griffin there?
Hold on. So, okay, all right. Look, when they talk about the four beasts, because you're talking about the four beasts.
No,
okay.
I'm talking about the Antichrist, who's to rise up out of the ground, and then fucking New Testament in Revelations to rise up out of the ground with a head the size of a bathtub.
Look, okay,
I don't know about you, but when I read that, my mind immediately went to fucking Stewie Griffin is going to imprison us all. He is finally going to do it.
Calm your tits, Jesus Christ! They're wagging in the air. Okay, when you're talking about beasts like that, okay, it could very well be anything. Like we make robots and shit. It could be aliens. Aliens might be the reason for religion in the first place because they came from heaven in spaceships and destroyed the Tower of Babel.
So hold on. Did you just tell me? Did you seriously just tell me that aliens come from Sir Daddy's BDSM kingdom?
No, that's not what I said.
That is literally, they comes from the heaven. They came from heaven. So aliens flew down from Sky Daddy's BDSM kingdom.
You're putting words in my mouth. There is a reasonable argument to be made.
Now that I think about this logically and put it in those terms, like literally, there's a Sky Daddy with the BDSM kingdom torturing people. I'm kind of turned on. Like, I want to know if there's going to be belt noises there. And only two people.
Jesus Christ, woman, shut the fuck up.
Like, give me fucking angels and beat with the Sky Daddy's whip, for fuck's sake.
Look, there could be a logical argument made that the reason that there's religion is because there was a battle in the sky. Let's say two warring factions of aliens fought in the sky, and then you have a reasonable argument for religion in the first place based around aliens. Okay, why the hell else would you think that the pyramids are actually based in the way that they are? Because now we're learning more about the Egyptian culture and that the fact that they were actually all around the world and built pyramids all around the world.
Hold on. I want to know this. All right, guys, maybe some of the listeners can explain this to me, especially this historian and the thing. All right, why did the Egyptians have fucking electricity and where did it fucking go? Like, legit. Like, we were that amazing in culture.
Actually, it's still there.
No. They had electricity. And then for thousands of years, because of religion, it just fucking disappeared. All of the Christians burned all of the knowledge of our prior years. Like, how fucking advanced were we? Because I know in some of our historical culture right now, it talks of tales of, like, Atlantis and stuff like that and the Great Crystal Kingdom and how everything was essentially derived from what is that one electricity thing? Not kinetic energy or anything, but how everything is self-charging. It goes through. There's no wires or anything like that. What was his name? The electrician who died poor.
Not Edison.
No, fuck
Tesla.
Edison. Tesla. There we go. Tesla. Thank you. Created this, but he found this, not didn't create it, but he found this and found that type of energy that the Egyptians had.
Well, you know, the pyramids. I don't know, it sounds like a cat fight outside. The pyramids of Egypt actually give off electricity.
Yeah. Okay. So we have all that, but because of religion, because of the whole Christianity thing, and the march of, everything like that. They were thrown into the fucking dark ages because they wanted to get rid of all the knowledge so they could
keep
control.
Blaming Christianity. It's not solely to blame.
They
Just
are
like,
solely to blame.
hold on,
It is
hold on,
religion
hold on.
in general.
But that's the part of history that you know. You don't know the rest of the history. Okay, there's always circumstances that we don't know that we're not aware of. All right? Like today's issues with police brutality, there's more than just one issue. There's several issues, but we know and focus on one of them. Okay? There's more than one issue, but that issue is the biggest one. So yeah, I'm not saying that Christianity is the smallest issue or necessarily one of the most inconsequential issues. It probably is the biggest reason. Okay, but there are other reasons for that, other reasons that gave precedence to it, other reasons that let it happen. So I'm not saying that Christianity is right in this instance. What I am, however, saying is that there's more to the story than we know because we weren't there. Just like I wasn't there, but I'm still going to have faith in my belief that, and I hope that I'm right, at least gives me some credence, some sense of well-being.
Maybe. All right. Well, we are coming to a close today. We're about to run out of time, so we really need to end this, and I've got to take my dogs out. So I got to get home.
It's been nice having you on today and listening to our absolute fucking mad rant. Jesus Christ. Okay, so the new rule is no more religion, and I'm actually going to write that down.
It is written on the plaque.
Okay, it's written on my whiteboard. So, no religion. No more religion. No more religion.
And I don't understand why you said no sexual tension. It's because I'm so sex positive. Like, I feel directly attacked with that. Like, I don't have sexual attention with you.
It's not for me. It's not for
us.
I'll
motorboat the shit out of your wife's ass,
Yeah, that's the kind of sexual tension I was talking about. Guys, my wife's hot. My wife's a solid 9. Very, very easily a 10 if she did her makeup and shit. My wife's fucking hot. She got legs that go up for fucking.
So I'm like a solid 2, but when I do my makeup, I'm a solid 6. Like I could.
Well, see, here's the fucked up thing. Like for most people, I'm a very solid 1. All right, and for others, I'm a very weak 2. That's the same with my wife. The only reason I got my wife is because I've made a bunch of jokes and she laughed. Her eyes got all squinty and she couldn't see me real good. And now that we're married, she has to pay to get rid of me, so I don't have to tell her as many jokes.
I never lie. I am the most honest person that I fucking know. Like legit. I'm a solid 2. Solid 3. No, I'm a solid 3. When I do my makeup and hair, I'm a solid 6. Bullshit.
She looks 17 with those braces.
All right. So coming to a conclusion today. Work with the conflict negotiations. Always take a pragmatic approach when you're looking at your own mental health and looking at everything surrounding you. Try to figure out why you are the way you are. What motivates you to be how you are. Find the toxicity in yourself. Find the solutions and work with a group support to, I'm not downgrading myself, the secret lounge. I'm not at all. Never a downgrade. Just honesty.
Well, I mean, honestly.
Just truly knowing yourself.
Here's some
I
truth,
fucking love myself and I'm awesome. But anyways.
Hold on. Here's some truth, though. Men always marry up. Women always marry down. Like, that's just the secret of life.
Nah.
You guys don't get to marry up. So
I am married up.
You definitely marry down.
No, I definitely married up.
Women are always higher tiered than men. Like,
no,
it's just
that's
basic.
stupid. All right.
Well,
anyway,
I don't know. You never.
I'm married up. Like, my husband's personality is
you can lie.
solid.
He's listening. I know. It's all right.
Shut up. I swear to God. I did not marry down. All right. Anyways, all right. Getting back on conclusion topic. Always look at the very pragmatic view and come with your own truth. Try to negotiate with yourself, with a group, to find the resolutions of the conflict and the internal conflicts that you're dealing with, because it is most important to have that group setting, whether it be with friends or whether it be therapy related, to be able to process in a healthy manner to come to the healthiest version of yourself. And
this is after the religious rant that we just had. Now, okay, all right. All joking aside, the goal for this podcast, as of
Everybody
right
knows
now,
the goal. You've stated it every single
right,
podcast.
I am reiterating because this is conclusion time. As of right now, I want people from all walks of life, black, white nationalists, Black Panther, I don't give a shit. But if you guys know some people who can sit down and actually talk amicably with one another, I need differing points of view to sit down and have that conversation. Okay, yeah, never mix personal bias or facts.
Yeah, we even spoke about that in the Satanic 7 Tenets.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Because Satanism,
That's fine.
better than
Look,
Christianity.
Here's
They will cast a spell on you and have giant orgies.
No,
Christianity doesn't offer that. All right, anyways, all jokes aside.
I mean, if we're going to be historically correct, it does.
Historically correct teaches we're not going back on this. We're not going. That is a new rule. We're not going down it. All right, I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Seriously, podcast comes to an end. So remember to like, share, and subscribe. Share the shit out of this so we can get listeners. And before we go, I definitely want to give a huge shout out to Repairman67 on TikTok for having an amazing TikTok and Instagram and always talking about the healthiest versions of the BDSM community. So that's a little shout out today. Definitely follow and like his stuff too, because he is awesome and is very knowledgeable. And it's just all around fucking adorable.
You guys can't see it, but she's sitting over here like smacking her hand with a fist and then gave finger guns.
All right, guys. Our next podcast will probably be on BDSM since all of the references to it in this podcast. So people will probably need to know what I'm referencing with the Big Sky Daddy BDSM Kingdom. So for those of you wanting to know, I will probably do some artwork this weekend. So keep a look on the Just FK page.
Is our Facebook page going to become NSFW?
Is
it? No, I mean, I just need.
No,
to know.
I will draw them fully clothed, but maybe leather clad.
Okay.
All right. All right, guys.
Still an SFW, but we'll mark it as an SFW so you're not scrolling through Facebook one day and be like, oh, hey, look at that. Your kid's like, Daddy, why does that guy have a leather rod up his ass?
I made your all a throne of cocks. I'm not sure yet. All right. I love you guys. Have a wonderful and safe, sane afternoon. We will
and
talk to you later.
consensual
Yes.
afternoon. And you know what? Don't let people tell you what to do.